I hate all software. I despise software. It's stupid. Every software program is stupid. Every programmer needs to be taken out to pasture. If you know what I'm. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's a second evolution. And it's blue or red. It's not water. It's blue, red, no. Is dragon? 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 Yeah. Okay, so it's red. How about like electro? It's not electric. Yeah, so it's red. Who else is red? Slowbro is pink, right? I would assume. God, fucking. Okay. Trying to think who else would be. I don't think Pidgey counts as red. It's blue. Try to get fucking different. Oh, God. What about Parasect? Is Parasect just a bug? God damn it, dude. Who else? It's like Flareon. I didn't do a fire. Maybe it is Flare. Hello? Oh my god, dude, what is with the fucking web browsers, man? What is going on? Just work. Okay, so it's fire type. Rapidash. Alien. Dude. Oh. Bro, I hate fucking computers. What is the matter? What the fuck is going on? Why does nothing fucking work? Hang on. That's who. Okay, so it was right. It eventually loaded. Oh my god. That was so stupid. That's a full pix. I'm not a dumb fucking bitch. Easy. Flies around the sky, such a powerful opponent. It breathes fire of such great heat that it melts anything. However, it never turns its fire breath on any opponent, weakening itself. Charizard. Ew, who's that? Omanyte? Who got little crabby feet like that? I don't think that's OnStar, isn't it? Who the hell is that? Oh wait, is that Paris? Parasec? Dude, who is this? Just throwing random ones out. Got fucking claws like that, no? Who's got grippers? Who's got grippers like that? Hey. Bro, who is that? Who's got grippers like that? Got it, dude. I'm so smart. Alright, time to do it again. Oh, they haven't reset yet. What the hell, dude? They keep not resetting. It's supposed to reset 2 minutes ago. Why didn't it reopen? Wait, hang on. Okay, I'm gonna restart this shit and see. Dude, shut up. I'm not upgrading Loop Deck. I know that version 6 just bricks the entire fucking thing. I'm not updating. Version 6 bricks the entire thing, and then Logitech's solution for it is, come on, dude, just buy the new one. Yeah, you can fuck off, man. I'm not buying the new one. Hang on, let's see if my soundboard stuff updated. Hello? Dude, I fucking. Okay, now it works.
A morir, somos Carlos Kid. Llevamos la llama, lucharemos por el evangelio, honraremos su nombre. Somos Carlos Kid, su valentía es nuestra. Juntos sin rompernos haremos el cielo visible.
Oh, I can do this.
A morir, somos Carlos Kid. Llevamos la llama, lucharemos por el evangelio, honraremos su nombre. Somos Carlos Kid, su valentía es nuestra. Juntos sin romper.
Was it $500 worth of stuff? Somos Carlos Geek. Somos Carlos Geek. Automatically create. Yo, if they do this and they make it actually, it would be cool if they made it not suck. It says more options later. I don't understand why. Why is this not refreshing? Huh? It's been 5 whole fucking minutes. Refresh the Pokédoll. Refresh the Pokédoll, or I'm gonna throw myself off a fucking bridge.
Yes, sirree. Thought about killing myself.
Okay, I'm just gonna. It seems to be functioning for now. Give it a few minutes. Okay, so it's not third person, so that means we try Call of Duty, and we're gonna do Black Ops 2. So we got first person. It's newer than 2012 and probably on PC, but it's first person, but not Warfare. What is? There's 4 Dead Rising games. Fucking why? Why, dude? Who the fuck would bother playing those? Those games suck. It was fine after like 1 keep remaking it, updating the graphics. Why does it look so weird in OBS? Is it squished? Oh, it's just screen game. What the hell? Ooh. Isn't it like, what is it? Fucking Evil Within. That's third person though. Yeah. I think it's third. It's not a shooter. What is in a shooter? It's first person. First person non-shooter. Destiny 2. Amazing Spider-Man. The Forests. Sun's Up. That's first person. Damn. Look at that. That gave us a lot of green. Somos Carlos Geek. Whoa. Why does technology just not work ever? It's so fucking annoying. Unity engine. So it's open world survivor or horror. And in Unity. Poppy played it. Wait, it's newer than 20. Let's see. Horror game came out last. The horror game last year in Unity. It's indie, I guess. Indie Adventure Simulator. Surprised Sons of Forest counts as a sim. I don't know if any of mine actually came out last year, did they? Silent Hill's third person. Yeah. Four games. Yeah, I don't have anything that actually came out last year. I assume it's using. Oh, this Phasmo's a 2020. And technically, it's full release. What the hell was that other Ghost game? Midnight Ghost Hunt? That was 2024 also, I think. I doubt it's even in here. Yeah, it's not even. It's like a team-based fucking Ghost Hunt. Oh, there it's right there. This will answer the horror question. Oh shit, it is it. I was just shooting for the horror answer. I got it in 4. Let's go. Oh my Carlos gear. Did this fucking reset? What's going on? Waking up. Wake the fuck up, Pokemon. Wake up. Okay, I don't. Maybe my fucking cache needs cleared in the browser. Some shit. This is kind of weird that it's not. Close everything. Cancel everything. Cancel all your credit cards. Go ahead and delete, clear my. good browser there. What the fuck is it on this browser? Just 1 gig. It hits 1 gig after like a day. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay, so we're gonna close it. Wait a minute or two, because then it's gonna update. It's after fucking midnight. Like, updaters going. It's almost puppy dog. The beamer. Oh, I need to make that one louder. That one's not loud enough. The fuck? Dude, god damn it. Everyone's gonna know I was searching what is wide. Oh. What the hell? Why isn't it changing, bro? Dude, Polkadot's broken. Polkadot didn't reset. Everybody back! Everybody back! What's going on? The fuck is going on? I'm scared. Wait, what are these from? Revealed from Paldean one. Oh, this is fucking stupid. Somos Carlos Geek. Did I just react right now, man? What's new in Zen? Something. Your extensions, themes, and custom setting. What? God damn it. What fucking extension is broken, you dicks? I hate technology. Watch it just be like something wasn't broken. It was just some plugin was like, you need to reauthorize permission. Something stupid like that. Let's put. No. You know what? Just stop. Just quit. I don't need this. Stop breaking. Computer program. Stop fucking breaking. Oh my god. Just work. I don't care about the release now. I don't know why the Polkadot is not. What is on sale at Newegg? Is there a bundle or something that is a CPU and a motherboard that are compatible with Gen or DDR4? Is there one of those? That is something I might need. Dun, 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 dun. Down.
This is just gonna be a bullshit. Dang. Why is there no like? And it just becomes an issue with getting a mother. You gotta go like, non-jerk. Non-jerk. B550. Yeah, what the hell? What the hell? So, dude, I have personally proved it. You could have 2 complete sets of 94 of 94 cards from Phantasmal players and not get the charge. Yippee. Okay. How the dude? The base cards? Yeah, that's probably about right. Dude, do they mount the fucking CPU sideways? Yeah. I think it's just. Dude, God damn. They might. That would be like $180 to basically turn my whole. Storage. I think that's a pretty decent thing. Alright. Dude. Come on, dude. Okay, so I think do that automatically. Yes. Let's see if I choose this. Wait, both of those were AMD. Oh yeah, there's other. No, no, I don't know. For an yeah. Mm. Oh shit, this mouse is used. Fun. Those are frying. Oh, fucking chips are crazy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just do an AM. Because don't all these fry themselves anyway? Okay, let's see. Whoa, is that a band? Oh, dude. It fuck off, man. Fucking work. Goddamn ass. AI bubble. Yep. Oh, punched.
Literally nothing changed other than they spent a lot of money on something and everyone had to use it. But yes, this is WeWork too, except it's so much worse.
Yay, we work too. W.
Joining me on the Tech Report today is writer of Where's Your Head At and the host of the Better Offline podcast, Ed Zitron. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I saw a study by the National Bureau of Economic Research which revealed that 6,000 CEOs that it surveyed across the US, Europe, and I think Australia as well, 90% of them saw no impact on employment or productivity in the last 3 years from the adoption of AI. The study points to the information revolution of the computer, where computers were sold, productivity growth was expected, but in fact, due to the overwhelming amount of information that these computers were producing, productivity actually slowed. I mean, anyone that is familiar, uses AI, is probably hearing alarm bells at this point because they know that that's kind of what's happening now. There's just too much information being made by AI that it's actually slowing things down. Do you think history is repeating itself?
I mean, 1948, we'd also lost a lot of people very recently due to a war. And on top of that, the introduction of the computer was nothing like the introduction of AI. Mini computers sound small, they were very large. These were room-sized computers and then eventually terminal-sized computers. What you would now find as a server rack was one computer. It was the very early days of what they could actually do. In this case, when it comes to AI, it's one of the most evenly distributed and accessible things of all time. You actually can't get away from it. It's harder to not use AI than it is to use it. It's because if you load a product, go use Google. You type in a search, nope, you use the large language model, asshole. You have to use that now. You pick up your phone. Oh, Apple Intelligence wants to read you your text messages. You didn't ask, but it's there. You upload every single app, and it's got some weird pop-up. You go into Instagram. Meta AI wants to harass you and generate an image. If AI was going to help, it would have been helping already. And I think we're entering this point where this is nothing. We're at the beginning of history. We're not at the end of history, Mr. Fukuyama, which I realize is a misquote. But we're not at a point where, oh, this is just the beginning. We're reaching this thing where we're realizing that everybody made a huge mistake. Everyone has invested in this thing for really effectively no reason. The actual data keeps showing that there is no productivity growth. There was another study the other day where it was like 75% of chief information officers were finding that they would have to, in the next 6 months, prove that AI had any worth or they had their budgets cut. I realize we've seen over $1 trillion invested since 2022 now, if you count all the venture capital and all the capex. We've seen all of this money. We've had AI screaming in our ears. Every time we open a drawer, there's an AI in there. There's a large language model in everything now. And nothing seems to have happened other than the birth of a new, more annoying Twitter personality. I think what we're seeing here is the beginning of a hysterical episode, following another hysterical episode where everyone said that something was happening when it wasn't. And I sound sarcastic, but look at the data. 90% of them said no impact on employment or productivity. Literally, nothing changed other than they spent a lot of money on something.
Okay, let's get the card game. Dude, update later, man. I don't want to do it. Oh. There we go. How did it? Why is it so zoomed in? Pokemon Day. Every year on February 27th, Pokemon fans around the world celebrate Pokemon Day. It's February 26th. All right. A little Pikachu. Oh, look at him. He's all scared. That's the thing, man. Oop. Pokemon Day going. Oh, cool. It's two Phantasmals? All right. Two Magas and two Phantasmals. Wink. Electrike, Stobble, Toxicroak, Gumshoes, Surfing Beach, Centiskorch, Ilya, some shoes, Bouncer, and a regular Jocker. Phantasmal. Gotta be quick. Okay. Palmo. Charcadet. Absol. Swinum. Grimsley's Moon. Taurus. Low Kicks. Okarak. Jumbo Ice Cream, and Zacian. Oh, wait. Is my fucking... This stupid shit's probably set to rival again. Oh, no, it's in. Just... Gotta be quick. Grass again. Pilseri. Oddish. Ghastly. Coach Damaru. Bronzong. Grimsley's Moon. Tauros. Vibrava. Velota. And a Reshiram. Nothing. Game is rigged. Fuck Pokemon, man. It's fucking bullshit. All right, journey together. Sick. Be quick. Grass energy. Wait, why is it flipping the fucking... It's not flipping the camera, right? I hate you. Fuck you, OBS. What is your fucking problem, man? What the hell? What the heck? Why did it do that? Why did it change which direction my shit was? Yeah, Villagent, Graveler, Dunsparce. Twinkling, Anaconda, Copperjaw. Oh, baby. Let's go. I already got this in Chinese. Rabombi. Rabombi and a Magmar. Be quick. Wait. Dude, what is with OBS's fucking bullshit right now? Why did it flip everything? Wait, why the fuck? Why is it mirroring? I don't get it. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, there. Fucking A. No, that's backwards. No? Yeah. Oh my god, I hate fucking technology. Why is it flipped backwards? Stop fucking flipping shit. Okay, why is it showing perfectly fine? Okay, what is it? Alt? Fuck off, god damn it. Why did it like I don't understand why this like decided to flip my thing around. What is going on? Yeah, because that's right now. Why the fuck was my camera like just flipped around and mirrored? Is it in here? Did I do it in this app instead? I don't think I did, though. I assume I did it in OBS. God, it's fucking annoying. All technology sucks. Alright, Magmar. Hopspulu. Bagon. Paris. Iris's Fighting Spirit. Octillery. Weezing. Metang. Reverse. Darmanian Reverse. And Amazon. Be quick. Leaded drinking water. We got Impidimp, Lechonk. Oh my god, that is cute. Cubone, Joltik, Ends Castle, Oinkalone, Accelagor, Professor's Research, Pancham Reverse, Noivern. Gotta be quick. Hot Chip and Lie, Wingull, Whiteum, Shelmet, Shelgon, Cramorant, Maractus, Xenom, Milcery, Combuskin, and a Wailord. Look at him, he big. Din, 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 din. Gotta be quick. Voiced Energy, Larvesta, Beldum, Oracle, Komala, Lily's Pearl, Greedent, Regice, Wooper, Kecleon, and Dubwool. Gotta be quick. Goth Energy, Oricorio, Purloin, Professor's Research, Cutie Fly, Octillery, Wheezing, Ruffian, Dunsparce, Blackbelt's Training, and a Noivern. Dang. Only one full art. Why not? Death and Rivals thing. What's it gonna do? Okay. Okay, so I think this is what I scanned. Okay, so if that's scanned, this is a tech company sending me a letter saying, "Hey, we lost all your data, even though you never heard it. We had all your data, we lost it. Isn't that fun?" Pink potato. Purple sweet potato. Kit Kat. We won. Good job, everybody. Okay. So, it's in here. Bulk. What is the button on? Scarlet Violet. That. Burp, burp. Burp, 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 burp. Burp, burp. Burp, 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 burp. Burp, burp. Burp, burp, burp. Look at that. Look at that. Come on. Dude, fuck off. Any fucking bugs? What are you fucking it with in the family? Hey, what's fucking with that? How the fuck did I get that? It wasn't even like straight. Some of the ones with too much, I think it's with the, if they have a lot of white on the car, you see the block off. Some of the light. Dude, fuck off. Oh, wait. white and yellow. It? Anyway. You just scanned one. It's like a minute. Oops. Damn, we're almost full. Down, down, down. Ooh. Ding, dun, 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 dun. I know you know that fact. Mm. Dang. Come on.
You had this thing called shadow IT happen. You had people secretly using their iPhones, and indeed shadow IT spread into other kinds of software. People were using the software they wanted to use at work. It was the opposite of being forced. In fact, they were using it without their IT managers liking it. This is the opposite. This is the boss saying, no, use my software. Use it, you pig. I want to see you using AI. Because in the era of the business idiot, the people that run these companies don't do real work. They're pushing AI because everyone's blaring in their ear that AI is important. When it comes to actually doing real work, it just doesn't seem to do it. Even the supposed speed ups of software engineers, what does that actually result in? What is the result of this? What is the thing that's actually happened? No one seems to be able to tell, which is crazy considering the amount of money invested.
I definitely want to get into your assessment of whether or not you think the assumed productivity growth from this study as well is worth the money. But first of all, do you think that AI, or more specifically the AI that people are familiar with, like Gemini or ChatGPT, do you think that will eventually mature enough that will also become as sort of commonplace as a laptop is now?
I mean, it already is, but not through choice. It already is very common. They're shoving it down our throats. It's as common as a laptop because when you load a Windows 11 laptop now, Copilot's there. It's like a vagrant moved into your basement. It's like a person's crawled through your vents and starts telling you that it could generate a summary of your emails. It's
What?
commonplace.
Pick who
not
wins
for any
UConn
consent
and
from the user
Southern
side.
Miss.
I don't think these models are
Fucking
improving
what?
in a way that makes them really essential at all. And I think that the thing is, you can never fundamentally trust them. There is the ultimate technology behind large language models makes them inherently untrustworthy. Your use and trust of large language models ultimately comes down to how much you care about the information you have being correct, or how much trust you have in
UConn
your ability
at
to verify.
Southern Miss.
Now,
Basketball,
one of the few
UConn.
use cases that people can actually quote of large language models is research. How in the world can
I
you
don't know
trust
what
research
else they would
with
play in.
something that hallucinates? Oh, they're getting rid of hallucinations. No, they are not. OpenAI put out a study last year that said that hallucinations are an inherent part of large language models. So they can't beat them. So I guess you
No,
can
it doesn't like
some of the
the
others. They say,
ride
oh, got something
on.
right about macrobiology.
No.
Can you say for sure? If the only way for you to confirm whether something is correct is that you knew it already, then why the bloody hell did you get research in the first place? Confirmation bias? I don't know. So it's really, what are they improving? How are they improving? What is the endpoint? That's the ultimate thing of this conversation. It's, where's the beef? What is it that
Fucking
I'm meant to
ding.
be looking at and excited about? And where is the point when this is good enough? Because right now,
And a nice
and that's
lady.
before you get to the fact that all of this is subsidized.
Do you think then that maybe the increase in usage figures, which I mean, by and large, obviously OpenAI dipped quite significantly recently, but by and large, as a whole, I should say, are going up.
Man.
Do you think then that is because it is AI, LLMs, chatbots are being pushed into areas rather
Go,
than people
go,
are seeking
go,
them out
go.
to go and use them?
yes. I think that, yeah, sure, you hear about AI and everything, you're going to go, I should probably check this out because no one will stop talking about it. But Google did a crazy one. Google Gemini, hundreds of millions of users suddenly.
Dang, it does
right,
not
they
like
changed
these
Google Assistant on
colors.
every Google device to Google Gemini. Traders hate this one trick. Microsoft doing the same thing with Microsoft 365 Copilot. Rename a thing, suddenly you got all these users. Yay! I'm sure that Google also considers every user
Pick
of
the
Google
Yukon.
Docs who has a Gemini pop-up, or Microsoft considers every single user that has a Copilot pop-up on Word or Google Docs.
Are you
to be an
fucking
active user of
gambling?
Gemini or
You
Copilot.
gamba?
This is just rigging the dice, and this is not something you have to do if something is useful. It's something you do.
He's
if
gonna
you're
go
trying to
place a
deceive
bet
people,
based
which
on
is
my
what they
just
are trying to
random
do. If these things had to stand on their own two
selection.
legs, no one would really care.
In that study that I mentioned at the start, that despite the lack of returns, it's sort of executives are expecting an average increase in productivity of, I think it was about 1.4% in the next 10
Let's
years.
go.
And it kind of, there's been some analysis recently pointing to the J curve. So the heavy amount of investment, capital investment at the start creates a flat growth, and then the payoff comes at the end, creating that sort of the tall bit of J. What's your response to that kind of analysis?
I mean, just wow. So I just have to wait until something happens, huh? Because that really is all that it's just like, yeah, it costs a lot of money and then something happens. Can they actually point to a time when that's happened? Because the dot-com bubble is very different to this one. All of that investment was in just on a very basic level.
Whoa,
Like, it lasts
hollow.
for 15 plus years versus GPUs that are obsolete in 1 or 2 years. And Jensen Huang's already talking about new GPUs he's going to announce, so cool. But nevertheless, why is it that every one of their predictions, promises, expectations is that the curve, that J curve bit? It's always, J keeps going out further and further. It's the longest J we've ever
Dang,
seen.
this
One of
is
the biggest,
dope.
beautiful J's you've ever seen. It's just very strange. Whenever you ask them to actually tell you when something is going to happen, it's like, oh, it's just coming up. It's just coming up. Sam Altman in India said yesterday, he said that we're going to have super intelligence as early as the end of 2028 and to enjoy your job while it lasts. The thing that a guy without a real job would say.
Goodbye.
Dario Amodei, end of 2027, a data center full of geniuses, blah, 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 blah. It's always in the future, isn't it? When you ask these people to actually tell you when something will happen, it's always in the future. We need all your money now so that we can spend it, so that then we can be rich, I think. Even though the data center debt
It's
doesn't
not
make
like
sense,
this,
pretty much every data center is going to be underwater. OpenAI can't afford to pay for the stuff. Oh yeah, all of those annoying things like addition and subtraction. Don't worry about those because executives
wild.
expect 1.4% more productivity. The people that do the least work and get paid the most expect more productivity from the thing that they are forcing you to use that no one who does real work seems to be able to explain the point of. I guess it's you're faster at some things, but not in a way anyone can measure. It's funny. It's when you ask for these people, you ask them how much money they need, they know exactly how much. It's more than you've ever spent on anything. When you ask them for proof, it's always vague, but you got to trust them because you know there's always a lot of money up front.
What
And then
are
there's
you
some that-
doing?
But here's
Stop.
my natural question. Give me another example
Stop.
of Amazon Web Services. Give me an example, because there isn't one. And Amazon Web Services was about $69 billion over 9 years before it went cash flow positive. OpenAI is raising an $100 billion plus round. Telephone, we are the world. That's all found Sam Altman's future. But Amazon Web Services, probably one of the most consequential software company infrastructural movements in tech history, cost less than OpenAI will have raised in the last calendar year. Like probably by the time they're done, half of it. Why are we doing this? Like,
Oh
I
my.
think that's the real question. Like, why are we doing this? What's the point? Everyone's losing money. Regular people hate it. It's driving people insane. It's destroying our environment. It's created some of the most annoying people online that we've ever seen. People buying Mac Minis and claiming they're running agents on OpenClaw. But when you go and look at what they're doing, it's like, yeah, create a website, summarize my texts. Nothing's happening. We're just burning money for no reason. It's so sad.
If we take at face value that there will be a 1.4% boost or whatever it might be, 2% we could call it, is that enough to justify the hundreds of billions or even trillions even that are being thrown at the building of AI infrastructure? And then also on the OpenAI $100 billion
Like just
funding round,
generate,
that's not the last one we're going to see, sure.
God, no. I mean, but I want to also be clear about something. Anthropic has done a really good PR job in pretending they're the nice ones that aren't the big glossy company. No, Anthropic is as big, ugly, and bilious as OpenAI. They raised $30 billion. The information reports they're going to spend $100 billion on training in the next 3 years. Also, these companies, when they say training, they want you to think R&D and CapEx. They want you to think training will stop. No, training means everything. Bug fixes, small updates, stopping model drift. Model drift is when the model can't respond to the real world anymore. Anthropic, by the split of how they spend their money, that means they're going to spend about $160 billion in compute in the next 3 years. They only got $30 billion. Oh wait, they also promised $21 billion to Broadcom for chips. So yeah, Anthropic's going to need at least another $100 billion. OpenAI raising over $100 billion now. That's nice. That should cover a third of the
Well,
$300 billion they owe
scan the
Oracle.
Bombardier.
And Oracle's building a bunch more data centers. They're going to actually owe them more than that. Also, they owe Broadcom. They're meant to build 10 gigawatts of data centers by the end of 2029. It's going to be another $400-something billion. They promised 6 gigawatts to AMD. Unless, of course, they were just lying about all of those. But putting that aside, OpenAI, according to the information, plans to spend over $450 billion in compute. $100 billion is barely going to let them wipe their ass. I don't know why they're pretending they only need this much, but apparently Amazon is going to be a big chunk of this deal. And I assume that $38 billion of this will be the 7-year-long deal for paying Amazon for Amazon Web Services. If there was a functioning SEC, this would be investigated. It shouldn't be legal to invest cloud credits. Indeed, it shouldn't be legal to invest this much in a single customer.
Yeah.
This is creating a dependency in the revenue streams of big tech on
God
companies.
dang
that
it,
can't
why isn't that
exist. And if
scanning?
the only way they can exist is big tech feeding itself its own money,
God
that's
damn
not
it.
a real business. It gets back to what I was saying earlier. It's not a real industry. It's not a real business. None of these things are particularly useful. And on top of that, here's a crazy fact for you. So, someone did a mathematical study of the limits on Claude subscriptions for Anthropic. They allow you to spend anywhere from 8 to 13.5 times the amount of money
Yeah.
you spend on your subscription in API calls. So, just give you an example. If you spend $100 a month on a Claude Max subscription, using Claude Code, you can spend over $1,300 of credits. Yeah, takes money to lose money, Isaac. And that's why these companies need all this money, because they're burning money to keep customers, because if they allowed them to use these models in a way that was sustainable, they would have to charge probably hundreds of dollars a week or even a day. So they do these ugly subsidized products to speed run their revenue, to get bursts of revenue, to beguile the media into thinking that these products at a $20 or $100 a month subscription rate will actually be sustainable and usable. No. Deep down, these companies it's an illusion. And they will keep raising money until they run out of it, or the debtors and the creditors and the venture capitalists and the private equities eventually give up on this.
There's a puzzle I've seen that is that Nvidia's valuation has remained somewhat kind of stagnant for the last couple of months, but data centers are still being built, which means chips are still being bought. But then that kind
Yeah.
of doesn't square in my head with why Nvidia's share price would be remaining, relatively speaking, flat over the last little while. What are investors waiting for?
I don't think investors have more than two brain cells to rub together at the best of times. If anyone was actually thinking about any of the logic behind this, they'd say, hey, NVIDIA GPUs are so expensive that you can't actually just buy them with cash. Cash flow is not enough. You have to raise debt. I've seen predictions that hyperscalers are going to raise hundreds of billions of debt in the next year or two to buy GPUs. If investors actually thought about the mathematics, they'd say, this isn't a test of the AI industry. This is a test of the global debt. This is how much debt can be raised. And as I've said before, data centers are all unprofitable the second you don't have a tenant. And even when you do have a tenant, I've heard out of Stargate Abilene that Oracle will not be extending POS Building 8 because OpenAI is not making them enough money. These stories should rattle the market. NVIDIA should get dumped. But no, NVIDIA will beat and raise because there is a weird capital situation where private equity is still feeding debt to it. It's flat because what's meant to happen with NVIDIA now? It's just they're going to make more money forever. I think everyone's just kind of waiting for the shoe to drop with this company. Because I've said it before, for them to actually keep up with the growth rate they're on, they need to be, by the end of the year, I think selling $90 to $100 billion of GPUs in a quarter. In a quarter. That's an insane amount of money. And that will come from
It is
private
not a
equity. It
feat.
will come from private credit, which borrows its money from banks. And that's the really scary thing, because private credit, you think, well, it's not really, it's this kind of private industry. You know, it's not banks lending the money, it's just private equity. Where do you think private equity gets their money from? Their parents? No, from the banks. The banks lend them the money. So NVIDIA's valuation being flat or up or down, I mean, at some point, the markets aren't operating rationally, and people will say in the comments, oh, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. Very clever, you're the 100th person to say it. But the truth is that NVIDIA being flat means that investors aren't really sure what's happening anymore. The boom tape will go to 190, go to 170, 190, 170, just keep bouncing between them. It will go up on earnings day. Everyone will go, yay, more money, beat and raise. They've said they'd make this much, and they'll magically make exactly 500 million to 1.5 billion more than analyst estimates every single time in a way that's kind of weird and suspicious. But you know, they've also got a customer concentration problem where like 4 customers are most of their revenue. I mean, that's not a problem either. Overall, in everything, I feel that everyone is just waiting for the other shoe to drop. They're either waiting for something to happen.
Dang,
that will
it
prove
does
that
not
it's
like
worth
the
it, or
EX.
they're waiting for something to explode. This whole chaotic mess around Claude Code, where people are claiming that if you reading about Claude Code, you think AGI already happened. Except what really happened was people were able to clumsily put together a website in an hour that looks exactly like the rest of the training data that Anthropic trained on. They see that and they're like, wow, I can make half-functional software that barely runs. Wow, this is going to replace software stocks. Salesforce, Microsoft, they're going to hell. We are in the realm of the irrational baby logic, where it's just, oh, you know, oh, well, I've seen a slight sign that something might be changing. Well, that means we need more bloody capex. We need Amazon to spend $200 billion. It's the only way any of this makes sense, because it's Wile E. Coyote running at full speed. Don't look down. Because the moment you look down and you think about the numbers, you think about the trillions of dollars that they're claiming they're going to spend, you think about these giant deals between NVIDIA and Meta. The moment you think about it for a second, you go, but none of this is very good, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. No, let's all be stupid for a while longer.
With that in mind, what do you make of SoftBank going sort of all in on OpenAI, increasing I think 60% of their portfolio is now just OpenAI, while at the same time Microsoft has both detached itself from OpenAI to try and develop its own models, while at the same time garnishing 20% of OpenAI's revenue for 2 years longer than it was supposed to. What does that tell you? I mean, is SoftBank risking another WeWork mistake?
Oh, we are already in WeWork too, man. Nobody does it better than Masayoshi Son. I love him. I think he's a nutter. I think he's just, I think actually this era can be defined as less of people who are very successful, but more by people that have taken the piss enough times, and let's see how many more times they can do it. SoftBank is allegedly putting another $30 billion into OpenAI. They cannot afford this, by the way. They're saying they're going to do it in three $10 billion tranches. They're going to have to borrow even more. They're going to have to sell off things. I got no idea how they do it. But yes, this is WeWork too, except it's so much worse. Truthfully, I think Anthropic might be WeWork too. Dario Amodei was on the Dwarkesh podcast, and he said that the way that he said using the term stylized facts, he said that, well, actually, the way you should calculate profitability isn't revenue minus COGS. It's cost of goods sold. No, it's how much a model costs and how much money was generated by the model. No, profitability is revenue minus COGS, Dario. Anyway, all of these companies are doing the same community-adjusted EBITDA, much like WeWork. So yeah, SoftBank's doing it again. Microsoft's playing the field, though. They invested in Anthropic. They put a little money into that 37 investor round. Very normal, very good. But also, rumor has it, Microsoft's going to put a little money into OpenAI as well, which is great because OpenAI promised to spend $250 billion on Microsoft Azure. So, you know, just taking a tenner out your wallet, putting it back in your wallet. Very cool. Yeah, this is WeWork too. It's the same thing except dumber. Because WeWork, they had leases, they had real estate. Too much, they couldn't afford it, but there was a thing you could point to. OpenAI and Anthropic actually have very few
Bro,
assets.
what the hell?
They have a
Where
lot
did this
of
little
talent,
fucking
a
fly?
lot of AI scientists who work for 12 hours a day, but nothing seems to come out. You're not really
Stop
sure what they do
flying
all day.
around my
A lot of-
goddamn
lot of-
face.
lot of yap. A lot of talking. Doesn't seem like the models are getting crazy better. You've got a lot of contracts that you promised, but no real assets. So nothing really to pick apart when this all falls apart. I'm not sure what Masayoshi Son will do when this explodes. His best hope is that OpenAI actually goes public and they can dump the stock. The problem with that will be is that even with a large float, dumping the size of their holdings, which will be over $50 billion, I guess maybe over $60 billion at this point, Jesus Christ, dumping that will actually be quite difficult. Indeed, any fluctuation in that stock will affect their earnings directly. Also, I don't think OpenAI wants us to see what's inside their guts when they file for going public. Same with Anthropic. I can't wait to see those S1s. I'm rubbing my hands together thinking about it because I think the real economics of these companies are so
Hey,
bad.
you cannot
And
stand
exactly the same thing
Obama.
happened with WeWork, by the way. That phrase I used, community-adjusted EBITDA, was the wacky accounting of WeWork. Just how they found ways to be like, yeah, actually, we're profitable if you just remove this and move this here, and you take this,
God,
and
they're
take that
finally
away,
got
and multiply by this. I think OpenAI and Anthropic are
Dude,
doing the
he
same
does
bloody stuff.
not want to
And even if they're
stand
not,
any
they're
of
just bad businesses.
Well, on that note, Evatron, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed today's episode, and again, you'd like to keep me employed, please consider liking and subscribing. Also, if you're still not aware, you can listen to episodes of Tech Report wherever you get your podcasts.
Dude, what the hell? It's fucking off. The heck? I don't want to scan any. Oh, it's just the side of this block. Shit just ain't gonna scan at all. Puppy dog. Tomorrow. The moon, the bear, and the big blue house. Dang, I already scanned. How the fuck did it scan that? So, Stone Joiner, the Stonehenge. Yeah, what do we want with?
Hey everybody,
Let's
how's it
listen
going?
to
Hope you're
Lewis
having a good day. I've been
Ross.
going over this law on this channel for a while called Section 1201 of the DMCA. Section 1201 of the DMCA is the part that says if you break a digital lock to gain access to a protected work, that if you show people how to do that, you can get 3 to 5 years in federal prison. It's a really horrible law. It was designed to combat piracy, and now that everything that you own connects to the internet and has digital locks and DRM in it, it's no longer about this person's trying to, pirate the Matrix and sell copies of it to millions of people. It's about I want to get the ads off my fucking fridge and my TV, and I'm not able to fix my tractor. This law has outlived its usefulness, and in my opinion, this law, dare I say it, never had any usefulness. I've started a nonprofit dedicated to trying rolling it back and try and reform it, and we've been doing quite a bit of work over the past year to do so. We've been working with lobbyists, we've been working with politicians, we've been working with lawmakers, and frankly, I'm very interested in trying to find a test case. We have been promoting this, how ridiculous this law is through our bounty program. Our bounty program is where there are devices that have horrible, absurd cases of digital locks on them, and we will pay people to break them. And if they choose to share the solution, great. If they don't share the solution, then we have a great example of how this law is causing real and actual harm. Now, a case came across my desk recently that I'm very interested in. It deals with a First Amendment auditor and somebody who's very critical of First Amendment auditors.
I didn't
You
get
may
that.
wonder, Lewis, what the fuck does any of that have to do with Section 12.1 of the DMCA? I didn't have any idea until I started reading the case. The TLDR of this, and I'll leave it to Leonard French if you want the full legal definition. He's way better at doing all that. I'm not going to read through every single element of the case. Leonard French is a lawyer. He's a copyright lawyer. He's going to do a better job of that than I ever could. I'm just going to give you the TLDR. You have a gentleman who runs a YouTube channel called Denver Metro Audits. He does First Amendment audits. First Amendment audits is this thing where you will have a camera and you'll walk up to the police or a public place or a public building or go into a library and you'll record and you'll see if you get in trouble. And the idea behind it is that I have a First Amendment right in the United States of
That's
America
right.
to film a public building. I have the right in the United States of America to film the police. And if you're not allowed to film the police, if you live someplace where the police can tell you, hey, you can't film us, stop that, that's illegal, that's tyranny. And I understand that. The First Amendment auditors may not always necessarily come across as nice and kind and caring, but they're there to try and check and make sure that your rights are intact. There are some people that go a little too far with it, that just are just doing this to fuck with people and get attention and, you know, create annoying scenarios for people that don't want to be recorded and be obnoxious about it. And that is where channels like the Frauditor channel comes in. Frauditor is a channel that is very highly critical of a lot of the tactics used by many First Amendment auditors, and he does not pull any punches. Now, there are valid points to be made on each side here. Again, I want to live in a country where I can record the police. So if you can't record the police, if they have the ability to, you know, take out their baton or just start shooting you when you take out your phone to record them, that's pretty fucking bad. Simultaneously, there are a lot of First Amendment audit channels that I see where it looks like some shit resembling like FuzzyTube circa 2015. It's a distasteful prank channel, and it's just fucking annoying.
We got Tyrant Hudson here. Hey, how are you doing? From last time. The douchebag. This clown right here. Freaking clown right here, man. Let's follow him around.
Oh
Where
shit,
you
those
stand
cards
on
have
this
weed
type of content
bladders
doesn't
on
really
them.
matter to me. What matters are the legal arguments being used to try and get somebody's video taken down. So, Frauditor is criticizing First Amendment auditors very often. And to criticize them, he has to show their content on his channel. So he shows the content on his channel, and he gets a takedown claim from Denver Metro Audits. And again, they're going through the process. He filed a DMCA claim. Frauditor responds to it. They're going through the process. And he says this is fair use. Denver Metro Audit says no, it isn't. And then when Frauditor gets his videos reinstated, they mostly got reinstated, Denver Metro Audit says, no, that's not good enough. I'm going to sue you. But he doesn't just sue based on fair use. That's not good enough. He sues based on fair use and Section 1201 of the DMCA. Now, where does a law about breaking digital locks have to come in to a YouTube copyright dispute amongst two people who disagree on politics? Well, in order to show the video on screen, Denver Metro Audits is alleging that Frauditor had to download it. And the process of downloading a YouTube video, you may notice on this video,
You've
there's
scanned
no
a bunch
download
of
button.
these.
And even if you do have a download button,
You can
because
do
pay
it.
for premium, it's not a real download button. It's this bullshit download button where it only works within the YouTube app and this, that. It's not giving you an MP4, an MKV file that you can do whatever you want with. It's there to control access to the
God,
web. Now, there are programs like YTDLP, YouTube Downloader.
Stop
that are
it.
great. This is a lovely
Stop
program.
fucking multi-scanning the
It's
same
URL
fucking thing.
and allows you to download a real copy of the video.
Stop it.
I support. I have no problem with people downloading copies of my videos. If YouTube goes away, I don't want the entire fucking collection of everything I've created to be gone. There are some creators on this platform where, like, again, if YouTube, there are videos that have really, really helped me. So if YouTube goes away, I don't want that content to just disappear into the ether because of this law. So YouTube Downloader exists, but because of Section 12.1 of the DMCA, and because it is breaking a digital law, you have to understand that program that you love, that even if you don't use it, many of the programs you use to download YouTube videos are using it, is technically breaking that law, which means the people making that program could be subject to 3 to 5 years in federal prison if they're doing it in the United States. So after Frauditor's videos get reinstated, he decides, okay, I need a better argument than just that he's not doing fair use argument. And when he sues him, now he starts trying to make the Section 1201 argument. Claim 4, circumvention of technological protection measures. Mr. Cordova asserts a claim for unlawful circumvention of technological measures in violation of Section 1201. Defendants argue that the claim should be dismissed on 2 grounds: lack of standing and failure to adequately allege defendants circumvented any technological measure. Section 1201 prohibits the circumvention of any technological measure that effectively controls access to a protected work. To state a claim for violation of Section 1201, a plaintiff must plausibly allege that the work at issue was protected under the Copyright Act, the copyrighted work was protected by a technological measure, and the technological measure was circumvented in order to gain access to the copyrighted work. The court first
What the
dismissed
hell,
defendant's
dude? Where the
argument that Mr.
fuck did this
Cordova
little
had
asshole
no
come
standing to
from?
bring a Section 1201 claim. This lacks merit because they say that Section 1201 affects anybody that's been injured by this, and Mr. Cordova alleges injury based on the defendant's alleged circumvention of technological measures. The court next considers whether Mr. Cordova is adequately pled a claim for violation of Section 1201. Defendants argue that FAC does not plausibly allege that the videos were protected by a technological measure when published on Mr. Cordova's YouTube channel, but the defendants circumvented any such measure in order to obtain access to the videos. Now, technically, these were protected at the time because you can't download, like YouTube does this to every single video. Every single video uploaded to YouTube. It's not like they make one where it's like, okay, this one will work with even old versions of YouTube Downloader. It's not like that. Google, YouTube, and YouTube Downloader are in constant fights with one another. So Google will fix it so that YouTube Downloader doesn't work. YouTube Downloader will reverse engineer what Google did and make the program work again. Every single video on YouTube is protected by this technological protection measure. I'm not saying I'm defending it. I'm just saying that that's the case. The DMCA defines a technological measure that effectively controls access to a work as a measure in the ordinary course of its operation requires the application of information or process of a treatment with the authority of the copyright owner to gain access to the work. According to the FAC, YouTube automatically applies technological measures to publishing videos that control access to and prevent unauthorized copying or downloading of Mr. Cordova's videos. The FAC alleges that YouTube's technological measures include rolling cipher technology, which is software designed to prevent unauthorized downloading of videos. This technology encrypts and dynamically alters the video stream's URL signatures to prevent unauthorized downloads. Citing MDY Industries, defendants argue that Mr. Cordova's claim fails and YouTube's technological measures do not effectively control access because Mr. Cordova's videos are publicly available on YouTube. Defendants misread MDY Industries. As the Ninth Circuit explained in that decision, the statutory definition of the phrase effectively control access to a work does not require that an access control measure be strong or circumvention proof. Rather, it requires an access control measure provide some degree of control over access to a copyrighted work. Mr. Cordova has adequately pled that YouTube applies technological measures, including rolling cipher technology, designed to prevent unauthorized downloading the videos published on its platform that effectively control access to his videos for purposes of Section 1201. Whether the videos may be viewed by the public is immaterial. The FAC refers to technological measures intended to prevent unauthorized downloading of the video. And Denver Metro Audits is technically correct over there. That technology prevents you from being able to download. And the problem is not YouTube preventing you from downloading videos. The problem is that if somebody comes up with something that reverse engineers YouTube's method and just grabs the video, that is punishable by 3 to 5 years in federal prison. What the people at YouTube Downloader did is math. This law makes math illegal. The math for DCSS, for you to be able to get around the encryption in a DVD, is something that, like, you could put this on a t-shirt. It's insane, the idea that this is illegal. And at some point, I believe the EFF, I think 20, 21 years ago, actually did make a t-shirt, something along the lines of this shirt is illegal because it included a math equation on it. According to the FAC, defendants circumvented YouTube's technological measures by using software applications, ripping utilities, or browser extensions specifically designed to bypass YouTube's technological measures. Mr. Cordova alleges that defendants' tools retrieve and decrypt the obfuscating YouTube URLs, and they just kind of go back and forth on this math. Now, here's the thing that gets me. Firstly, this is aside from the Section 1201 part. Firstly, if you are a First Amendment auditor, you care about free speech, again, to the point where you are showing up to you are showing up to libraries and recording people doing shit like this.
You got Tyrant Hudson here from last time, the douchebag. This clown right here. Freaking clown right here, man. Let's follow him around. Look at all these kids around here, and he's staying effing and acting like this.
Because you're recording around children, and that's proving against everything I'm a believer. Oh. Get the fuck out of here! Go!
Chad, calm down. Wow.
I don't believe in filming children.
We weren't filming kids. We weren't filming kids. Look, he's acting up again.
When you believe in the First Amendment to that extent, and like this is your content, it's really hard for me to square the circle of you also being the guy that's like, that person re-uploaded my video when he was not nice to me. He used 40% of my content and criticized me. That's really? Like, this is a video on my channel. If you're gonna be the bitch, be the whole bitch. If you are that into the First Amendment that your entire channel is nothing but First Amendment audits, yet somebody re-uploads a portion of your video to their channel and is critical of you, and you're like, oh god, let's take that down. Like, that's bitch shit. That's bitch shit. You filed your claim with YouTube. After filing your claim with YouTube, YouTube determined that the video was fair use. Which, by the way, YouTube never fucking does. YouTube almost always agrees with the person filing the strike. But you lost a YouTube strike. After you lost it on the merit, now you're gonna try and also again be like a Weasley little bitch with it, and then try to say, oh well, you had my video on screen. Well, how'd you get my video on screen? Huh? Well, you must have broken the DRM, so I'm gonna get you for breaking the DRM. Like, no, because no, that's not how that works. Because there's other people on YouTube that have used videos from this channel. How many fucking people have you sued for that? How many? How many people, Denver Metro audits, that have used a piece of your fucking video on YouTube have you sued because they use YouTube Downloader or screen capture software to show your video on their channel? You did. This is a fair use or copyright issue. This is a censorship issue that is being disguised as a DRM issue. You're trying to use a law that criminalizes the process of breaking a digital lock of what you bought and fucking paid for to get content taken down that you don't like. And that's where I draw the line. I started my nonprofit last year to reform this bullshit law. This law is not about your petty fucking grievance. This law is not even about piracy. This law is about the fundamental question of, do you own what you bought and paid for in a world
Yes,
where
it
a
is
fucking baby
about
monitor
petty
can be turned
fucking
into a street
grievances.
food? This law is an abomination and a stain on our country. I want to see it reformed. We've started a nonprofit with the intention of reforming. We have a bounty program where we go over different devices that have been disabled by the manufacturer that we are paying people to break open and make work again so we can demonstrate just how much damage this law does. We have a wiki with thousands of articles going over this. I have a staff of half a dozen people quickly expanding that are going to be working on this. Lobbyists, we work with lawmakers, and we will win. But something I'm also looking for is a test case. You see, there's a legislative route, there's the cultural route, but there's also the judicial route. To show that piece of your video, I used YTDLP. Would you like to sue me? I would love to test this case in court. Unfortunately, nobody has sued me yet. I would love to get a frivolous lawsuit. You have no idea. There are three types of people in this world. There are the people that go, no, please, I'll do whatever you say. I don't want to get in legal trouble. I'm afraid of getting fired. I don't want to get a legal letter. Oh no. There are the people that'll go, yeah, you know what, I'll defend myself. And then there's people like me. The people that get into fights, they don't even care if their nose gets broken just because they enjoy the taste of their own blood. Which type of person do you think I am? Fuck around and find out. I'm not sure if my nonprofit is going to be able to extend help in this particular case. It's almost midnight and I haven't had time to consult with everybody else. I'd like to make sure he's making the right arguments. And I sure as fuck don't want to see him give up because he runs out of money for a lawyer, that's for sure. If this case is won in Denver Metro Audits' favor, Section 1201 of the DMCA will be able to be used in every single censorship or takedown case you see on YouTube when people disagree with one another. This is so fucking petty and stupid. If he had simply had a monitor up, right? Like if he had just put the monitor up with Denver Metro Audits' video and zoomed his camera in on it, had the microphone up to the speaker, that would not have been breaking a technological measure. He could have done that. And then that part of the claim would have been gone. And we know that Denver Metro Audits' issue is not with the fact that he used YouTube DLP. It's with the fact that he was criticized by somebody. Let's be real here. Because he would have gotten the same fucking point across. If you look at Frauditor Troll's channel, it's like 67,000 subscribers criticizing First Amendment audit. It's not like he makes his money off of selling bootleg copies of Blu-rays where people are only going to pay if it's perfect quality. He could have very easily criticized having his camera filming his laptop. If you want to sue somebody for doing that, sue me. I'm admitting to doing it in this video, which is a defense that can't be made for Frauditor Troll. I am not afraid of legal battles. I am not afraid of confrontation, and I am not afraid of getting my hands dirty. I would enjoy every second I spent on that case, because not investing in that right now is giving up freedom of speech into the future for every single person on YouTube. Because even if something technically is fair use, YouTube's own system, which is almost always in favor of the person filing the strike, says that your video can stay up, somebody just file a claim saying, oh, Section 1201, when we know that that wasn't even the problem to begin with. If you are a large content creator on YouTube, hell, if you're a small content creator on YouTube, and you've ever included somebody else's video within your video, this is very important to you, and I hope that you cover it. There are many people on this channel that have many millions more subscribers than I do that will do videos where they'll show a piece of somebody else's video. And you'll think, well, that's fair use. I didn't do anything wrong, right? Well, even if you didn't do anything wrong via fair use, if you used a downloading program or a screen capture program to obtain a copy of that video to put it into your video editor, you have broken a law that is punishable by 3 to 5 years in federal prison. There are many people on this platform. I know many of you exist that have much larger reaches than I do, that do videos regularly where you comment on other people's videos. There are hundreds of you. And if this affects you too. It is not just about some 60,000 subscriber YouTube channel. Because when the judge rules in this case, if Denver Metro Audits continues to push forward with this case rather than drop it, they will be setting a precedent that has not been set before, that Section 1201 can be used to limit free speech and fair use on this entire fucking platform. That is a dangerous precedent to have set. We need as many people as possible on this platform to band together against this bullshit. This judge actually rules in favor of Denver Metro Audits. We are all fucked. I don't usually bother my audience to do this to people. Get other people to talk about this. Everybody on YouTube that makes content where they've ever been critical of somebody else's content needs to be made aware of just how fucked they could be if this case finishes in Denver Metro Audits.
Just need to give it time to think.
And as always,
No big
I hope you learned something. I'll be following up on this case. I'll be watching very closely, and I'll be looking into what our nonprofit can do to help. Frauditor, you are no longer alone. Denver Metro Audits, you have made a big fucking mistake. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now. Today I'm going to follow up on the two videos I did on Denver Metro Audits suing Frauditor Troll. This video is going to focus on the conduct of his attorney, and I want you to really pay attention to the way this man treats people, and then think about whether or not you think it is a good idea that Section 1201 of the DMCA be used in this way. One of my findings throughout life is that when you have abusive laws, you have abusive rules in place, it tends to be the biggest pieces of shit that have the worst possible behavior that end up being the people that use this as an excuse to bully other people. And I'm finding that to be the case the more I look into this. Many people have suggested that I look into the personalities involved, and I don't think that they meant me looking into the lawyer. I think they meant me looking into Denver Metro Audits, who's doing the lawsuit, or the defendant, Frauditor Troll. But I'm really interested in the lawyer, and the reason I'm interested in the lawyer is because it is the lawyer that has power. What can a YouTuber at the end of the day do to you that has a couple of thousand views per video? Not much. What a lawyer can do is massively fuck up your life. There are people that have tried to sue me because they didn't like what I had to say. And when you're dealing with a lawyer, as the person who is dealing with Deep Cycle Systems batteries can tell you, or anybody else in this channel, I've discussed their lawsuits, it's very easy to get caught up spending $40,000 to $150,000 to defend yourself. And even if you win, you then have to countersue for damages. You will have to collect. It is a painful, painful process. And many people simply do not have the $400 to $1,200 an hour to pay for an attorney to fight a frivolous lawsuit. So if an attorney is acting in bad faith, they can just say, I'm going to file lawsuits against people that I know don't have the money to defend themselves and bully them. You can essentially get them to either submit, or I'm just going to force you to court. I see this to be a very distasteful thing to do. So the first thing I need to say before I get into anything else in this video is that I do not disrespect the concept of First Amendment auditing. I think it's a very important thing to do. I have been kicked out of legislative hearings before when I show up with my camera to record these right to repair hearings and to show you what lobbyists say, because I don't have a press pass. I've done many videos in this channel where I show up to legislatures with my camera, I talk to the senators, the assemblymen, the representatives, and I tell them why right to repair is important, and I also try to debunk the lobbyist bullshit. The lobbyists will say things like, Lewis is going to install TikTok on your phone and it's going to spy on you, and it's the manufacturer that's pre-installing TikTok to begin with that you represent. Or they say that magtrometers and microwaves will explode when magtrometer is not even a part that's in a microwave. And they'll say that I need a press pass in order to record. Somebody from my audience actually made me a press pass just in case that happens again 6 years ago. Shout out to whoever made this. Or there will be lobbyists that will say that I harassed them, or that I violated their privacy by showing up to a public legislative hearing with my camera in a government building and recording what they said at the public hearing. That's not harassment. That's not an invasion of privacy. There's no expectation of privacy in a public legislative hearing. You just don't like the fact that I recorded you lying, and hundreds of thousands of people are now going to see it that you're not used to having listened to your BS or call you on it. So First Amendment auditing is very important, but unfortunately, with everything in life, there are bad apples that get into everything. So I was going over this lawsuit in a recent video that I did, where Denver Metro Audits sued Frauditor Troll, and he was saying, listen, the way you use my video is not fair use. So Frauditor Troll uploaded a video that included a lot of Denver Metro Audits' content in it, and he made remarks and criticism on that video. Denver Metro Audits filed a strike on that video saying this is not fair use, you use way too much of my content. Frauditor Troll defended himself, counter-claimed, and actually won. I want you to think about this for a moment. YouTube is a platform where it constantly, willy-nilly gets it wrong and always enforces the strike even when it's incorrect. And here, a channel that's 1/3 or 1/5 the size of the channel making the strike, that is much less authoritative, actually won. I want you to think about this for a moment. This is kind of like if Tim Cook walked up to me and said, by the way, Lewis, we're going to come out with a new MacBook in a few months. Here's all the schematics and the USB for it. This is a cold day in hell. This type of thing just doesn't happen. So they filed a lawsuit saying that this is not fair use. The infringing video does not qualify as a protected fair use. It consists predominantly of the plaintiff's copyrighted content replayed in a long and unscripted sequences. Defendants' minimal additions, less than 4 minutes of sarcastic narration, do not meaningfully critique the registered video or transform its message. If this was just a fair use complaint, I
Yes,
would
it
not condemn it.
does.
I might think of it as a little bit petty, but it wouldn't be something that rises to me doing a video or really caring about it. This is just like a petty squabble or dispute. The reason that this bothers me is because they added something to this. Now, I'm guessing that when they saw, wow, even YouTube thinks this is fair use, we're going to have to do something before we can actually sue this guy, is they added a Section 1201 section to it. Section 1201 of the DMCA is a law that says it is illegal to break a digital lock. It is a law that I have been against for a long period of time. This law has a lot of horrible consequences. It has been used to have the FBI arrest or raid people that make a piece of software that removes DRM from an ebook so you can use it in a different ebook reader. This law has resulted in a company that makes garage door openers getting caught up in it. This law has resulted in companies that make aftermarket ink cartridges getting in trouble. There are some printer companies that think that you should have to buy ink from them. And as Cory Doctorow says, when you look at oil, insulin, anything else, color printer ink in the United States is literally the most expensive liquid that you can get by the gallon. Many printer companies think that you should only be able to buy the ink from them, and they'll put these technological protection measures into their printers. And this law is so poorly written that they were actually able to bring suit against companies making aftermarket ink cartridges. It has also been brought against somebody who was making homebrew Xbox software. And the judge thought this was so ridiculous, they said, I don't really even understand what we're doing here. They slammed everything that they did. This law is why farmers can't fix their own tractors. This law is also been used for programs that you may use. It is why YouTube Revanced and Spotify Revanced are illegal. It is why YouTube Downloader is illegal, and the people who made YouTube Downloader can be in federal prison for up to 3 to 5 years. And this is a very unique law because the law does not criminalize the behavior or the conduct, it criminalizes the tool. So to give the best analogy I can give here from a Second Amendment point of view, instead of criminalizing the action of shooting my neighbor, they're criminalizing the action of having a gun. But not just necessarily having a gun, making a gun, or even showing somebody how to do that. So California is not known as a very pro-Second Amendment state, but imagine if the CEO of Glock walked through San Francisco and was arrested simply because he has facilitated the creation of a gun somewhere else. That is what Section 1201 of the DMCA does to technology. It is a horrible, horrible law, because even if I were to use the YouTube downloader to download a State of the Union address that was recorded on a public news network, not just have I done something illegal, but the people who created the tool have done something illegal. Even if I never use that tool to break the law or pirate anything, this law criminalizes the tool rather than the action, which is why I find it to be insane. Let's say you have a developer of an exercise bike, and that exercise bike works with third-party software, and then they say, LOL JK, after you bought it, it's only going to work with our software, and by the way, our software has a cloud subscription fee. I believe that if you bought the product, that you own it, and you should be able to use that the way you did when you purchased the product, and that you should not be breaking the law to do it. So our nonprofit has been focused on getting people to bypass these technical protection measures and give people back access to what they bought and paid for. This gentleman found a solution, and he did not share a solution because he doesn't want to go to federal prison for 3 to 5 years, and I don't blame him. Now, one of the things that I brought up earlier is that when you have these types of horribly abusive laws, the people that gravitate to them tend to be the people that are, in my opinion, the biggest pieces of shit in society. When you have laws that allow you to abuse people, that give you power over others in this way, to take away their freedom in any way, shape, or form, that it often winds up getting used in the worst possible way. So I decided to look a little bit into this.
Okay, come on. There it
Talk
goes.
to people, how he conducts himself, and see if I was correct in making that assumption. And I listened to a little bit more of that stream where he's talking about fair use, and here's what I got.
If he wants to discuss it here on the panel, but that's all.
True. What's the big deal about that?
Well, you talk a lot of shit in mommy's basement. Turns out you're like some fucking loser.
What? How does that make me a loser?
We make you seem like you're somebody made a fuck God and you're a fucking loser. True.
No, that's not true.
I have a good friend, Daniel Guido, who starts under the nonprofit called the Independent Foundation. He was able to afford a wheelchair ride for one in his life. It's really difficult to get a job when you can't go outside. It's hard to go outside when you don't have legs. It's hard to afford a wheelchair when you don't have a job. And more importantly, it's really difficult to get one when they stay in New York arguing with you for 3 or 4 years, telling you that you have legs when you don't. You have no fucking idea what people that live in wheelchairs go through. And you sit there as this fucking fancy-ass lawyer, bragging, talking down to people like this, laughing at people that have less money than you. You're my personal project now. I know you can feel that right through your suit. You had this little comment up earlier saying, look at how informed Lewis is. Then I made this post. I'm coming for you. Just like I came for another person that likes spending a lot of their time in Southeast Asia and bullying people. You just changed your post to this. Let's just establish that this never had anything to do with fair use.
What does Randy get if he wins? Apparently, he gets clout in the auditing community because everybody's going to be rushing to hire him and sue the shit out of everybody. That's what he's hoping for. Isn't that right, Randy?
Yes, that is right.
Okay. Well,
And if we win, your little buddy frauds are really screwed all of you because then I can get to sue everyone for using ripping software.
ripping software.
Even without regard to fair use. If you have videos on your channel that are from someone else, beware.
This is not about fair use. This has nothing to do with how much of somebody's YouTube video they used on their channel or whether there's fair use. When you invoke Section 1201 of the
Right.
DMCA, what
Scan
you're
that
saying
link
is
wall.
you had to break a technical protection measure in order to grab that video from YouTube because YouTube has a technical protection measure to then put it into your video editing software to put it inside of your video. So even if what you did is 100% fair use, I still have standing and the ability to sue you. Beware. And he goes out of his way to sound like the cartoon villain that he is and put his mouth closer to the microphone to sound more ominous and then says, beware. So, is it safe to say at this point that this guy does not care about fair use and that this is more about having the ability to willy-nilly take videos down from other people's channels and extort those channels if he sees fit to? I'm just going to put that on the table for a moment, that this is no longer about fair use. And I'm not going to be using the words fair use anymore because that's not what any of this is about. It's about establishing a precedent that allows you to go after YouTube channels that have ever had React content in their videos. Let's continue on here to my second assertion that I'm going to make. I'm going to make the assertion that on average, people that are the type of people that are going to sue you because you used too much of their video in your video are the type of people that are more pedantic. They're the type of people that that follow the letter of the law more closely. And I'm not going to be mad at you for following the letter of the law more closely, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold you to the standard. that
Hey,
you're
boo
trying to
boo,
hold
look
other
at the
people to.
picnic
Because it's something
basket.
that I learned in the video that I did on BWE. He's another guy that likes to travel Southeast Asia. It's important that I not hold people to my standard, but rather I'm going to hold you to the standard that you're trying to hold other people to. Because that's something that I learned in the video that I did on BWE. He's another guy that likes to travel Southeast Asia. It's important that I not hold people to my standard, but rather I hold them to the standard they held other people to. He was saying that he was not the person that I was accusing him of, and I am a privacy advocate. So I never asked him for his ID. But after he accused me numerous times of lying, I asked for his fucking ID. He never showed it. You are holding people to the exact letter of the law when it comes to fair use. We are suing you because you use too much of this content in this video. I'm going to start holding you to the standard that you're holding others to. Let's see how you like it. I'm going to establish who this person is. And as I'm going through this entire process, there's two questions I want you to keep in the back of your head. Number
This
one,
is funny.
if this man is willing to get people in trouble for using screen capture software and using 1 minute or 2 minutes extra of somebody's video simply because the letter of the law says so, should he also be held to the same standard? Should he be held to the letter of the law? Secondly, do you think somebody that behaves in this way is a person that should have power over others? I want that
Come
question in
on.
the back of your head every time I go through something that he's done. Let's establish who he is.
Come
The
on,
attorney
you've
is Randall
scanned
Scott
this
Newman.
before.
This is his address, 99 Wall Street. RandallNewman.net is his website, and his California State Bar number is 190547, as confirmed on the State Bar of California's website, as well as the New York State Bar's website. This is also on his LinkedIn, the same website, RandallNewman.net. When you go to RandallNewman.net, you'll see the DMCA lawyer, and you will see this link to his YouTube channel over here. When you go to the YouTube channel, it has the exact same logo, so this is him. Now, let's see how it is he discusses things. Let's see how he engages with people when talking about cases, when in the Discord, where all of these people that are involved in this are talking. And I will leave a link to that Discord down below. That piece of shit started with me, and he's truly a miserable fuck, so I don't feel bad. I didn't threaten him. I suggested his family would be happier if he killed himself, which is probably true. I'm just stating the obvious. Stop! I don't want to know more! I wasn't wrong. I secretly wish bone cancer on him and his family as well. Here, there's a message that's being quoted, and the message that's being quoted is a message that wasn't screenshot in time, where he's suggesting somebody else kill themselves. Someone says, hey, not okay, man. This can get a Discord report. Randall Scott Newman. Everyone will be happier. Just in case you're not sure what he's referring to, one of the things about these people, and I also said that about BWE, is that they tend to believe they'll never get in trouble for anything they do. So he, even though the message got deleted, he is going to probably say it again. Pardon me, what's the problem? It's gone now. Don't tell people to do that. It's a violation. Violation of what? This is Fight Zone. I didn't threaten him. I offered him a suggestion to end his miserable existence. Unfortunately, I doubt he would take my advice. Yeah, don't do that. The server can get reported for that. Do you have a screenshot of me telling Laura to kill himself? I may get disbarred. LOL. Let's talk about what could potentially get you disbarred in a moment. What kind of moron thinks you win a lawsuit in 6 months? There's still time loser if you know what I mean. And just in case you don't know what he means, he also posts a meme of somebody hanging themselves. Sounds like a lovely guy. Let's take a look at what the laws are in these particular jurisdictions where he practices. In New York, a lawyer or law firm shall not engage in illegal conduct that adversely reflects on the lawyer's honesty, trustworthiness, or fitness as a lawyer. I would suggest that suggesting people kill themselves is not fit. Encouraging suicide may constitute a criminal offense under New York Penal Law Section 120.30, which provides that a person is guilty of promoting a suicide attempt when he intentionally causes or aids another person to attempt suicide. A lawyer or law firm shall not engage in conduct that is prejudicial to the administration of justice, and a lawyer or law firm shall not engage in any other conduct that adversely reflects on the lawyer's fitness as a lawyer. Let's go to the state of California. In California, they're a little bit stricter on this regard. The commission of any act regarding moral turpitude, dishonesty, or corruption that the act is committed in the course of his relations as an attorney or otherwise, and whether the act is a felony or misdemeanor or not, constitutes a cause for disbarment or suspension. If the act constitutes a felony or misdemeanor, conviction thereof in a criminal proceeding is not a condition precedent to disbarment or suspension from practice. Therefore, did he commit a felony? Any person who deliberately aids, advises, or encourages another person to commit suicide is guilty of a felony in the state of California. Aids, advises, or encourages another to commit suicide is guilty of a felony. And he's doing this to people that he's suing. It's a server where they all talk. Now again, I could hear people screaming in my comments. What about those 4chan people in your comment section that say Lewis drink bleach instead of a picture of of bleach in their profile picture? And again, one of the reasons that I'm applying a different standard here than I do in my comment section, the 14-year-old people that show up in the YouTube comment section are harmless. They can't hurt me, they can't sue me, they can't bring legal action against me that will then result in me having to spend tens of thousands of dollars, and above all, they are not holding other people to the same standard. If you want to hold people to the standard of the law, you can only use 20 seconds of the clip, not 30, or it's not fair use, then you're not allowed to break the law that says you're not allowed to encourage people to fucking kill themselves if you're a lawyer. I think we should hold you to that same standard. I'm going to include all this down below. Next up, contacting somebody who is represented by a lawyer that you know to be represented by a lawyer with a third party. So if you're a lawyer and you are suing somebody, you cannot contact them through some sort of random, unrelated third party. I'll read you the rule. In representing a client, a lawyer shall not communicate or cause another to communicate about the subject of the representation with a party the lawyer knows to be represented by another lawyer in the matter, unless the lawyer has had the prior consent of the other lawyer or is authorized to do so. In California, it says, in representing a client, a lawyer shall not communicate directly or indirectly about the subject of the representation with a person the lawyer knows to be represented by another lawyer in the matter, unless the lawyer has the consent of the other lawyer. The whole point of this is to prevent some sort of fuckery where you're able to get something that you can use against the person you're suing out of somebody by tricking them into talking without their lawyer. And that is there for a very good reason. Now, if you take a look, this has been broken several times. In this exhibit, there's a gentleman named Peter Coventry who is friends with Frauditor Troll. And he was asking him, can you ask him what he means when he said the 1,700 videos are gone forever? Did he retain the videos and the data? And Peter Coventry says they're gone, just said so clearly in the live stream, really for reasons I can't disclose without violating confidentiality. So he is trying, DMCA lawyer over here, is trying to extract information about the person he is suing from somebody else rather than going through the lawyer. Can you ask him what he means about that? He's not saying, what is your knowledge of this? He's trying to trick this guy into believing that he's talking to his friend when in reality he's talking to the lawyer that is actively suing him. This is absolutely fucking disgusting. This is the type of behavior that can get you disciplined and disbarred, and for good reason. It's right here in writing that Newman is asking Coventry to secretly ask the complainant whether he had deleted certain videos. Coventry informed the complainant about these communications and provided screenshots at the complainant's request. The complainant here being Frauditor Troll. This rule is one of the most strictly enforced rules in the attorney discipline because it protects the attorney-client relationship. As I wrote in the complaint that I'm going to be sending to both the New York State and California Bar and following up on with all the evidence, Rule 4.2 should be one of the most strictly enforced rules in attorney discipline because it protects the attorney-client relationship. Newman's own emails demonstrate that he knew the complainant was represented. Rather than contact opposing counsel, he used a third party to attempt to extract case-related information. This is a textbook Rule 4.2 violation compounded by a Rule 8.4 violation for attempting to circumvent the rules through the acts of another. Next up is solicitation of clients. So you're not supposed to email people as a lawyer and say, hey man, you want me to take on this case for you? That's not the way this is supposed to work. A lawyer shall not engage in solicitation by in-person or telephone contact or by real-time or interactive computer access communication unless a recipient is a close friend, relative, former client, or existing client. In California, the rule is a lawyer shall not by in-person, live telephone, real-time electronic contact solicit professional employment when significant motive for doing so is in the lawyer's pecuniary gain unless the person contacted is a lawyer, has a family, close personal or prior professional relationship with the lawyer. This is a very, very strict one. And let's take a look at some of his posts. This is from the DMCA lawyer. If you think deleting evidence is going to save you, think again. Troll Media Group went from 858 videos to 64 in just 3 days. No takedown notice, no lawsuit, not even a warning. Yeah, the trolls are scared, and then he starts pinging people with other channels that he would like to file suits on behalf of and says, email me. So he's pinging people on YouTube, which is going to get them a notification, and then saying, email me. He says it over here as well. If they're profiting on you, it may be time to hit back, and he is pinging people to solicit their business. These updates bring so much joy to my day. Email me if you want in on the action. And then come the actual direct quotes. By the way, Denver Metro Audit, please make my day. I have been trying to get a piece of litigation going with regards to Section 1201. I'm going to use a screen capture software or YouTube DLP, you can guess, to play back a section of your video where your lawyer admits on camera to breaking the law. I believe that's fair use when I'm playing a video clip of your lawyer admitting that he's breaking the law. But just in case you think it's not, feel free to sue me. I would love a test case.
This guy here, First Amendment FAPA, I've been fucking wanting to get in touch with this motherfucker for like weeks. He's like the biggest, maybe the biggest, they're using his footage more than anyone's at the moment. I've been trying to get a hold, I sent him a couple messages. He doesn't respond. Dude, you gotta email me, bro.
Okay, so you are sending somebody emails trying to solicit them to...
They're using his footage more than anyone's at the moment. I've been trying to get a hold, I sent him a couple messages. He doesn't respond. Dude, you gotta email me, bro.
Okay, so you are sending somebody emails trying to solicit them to be your client. That's illegal. Unlike me using my screen capture software to play back a 40-second portion of your fucking video clip, which is what you're suing people for, what your lawyer does is actually illegal! You fucking piece of shit!
And I have seen some of your work. Once we saw your video, I was like, oh, I know this guy. I remember him. So I think you do great work, man. So keep it up, bro. I like you, man.
I didn't send him an email. I tagged him because I'm not really supposed to send emails.
Yeah.
Like, ask for business.
Okay, so not only did he break the rule that says that you're not supposed to be soliciting business by direct email, but he admitted that he's done that. He admitted that he knows it's wrong, and that's why he's doing tagging. So A, he's tagging to try and get around the rule, and B, he's already said that he sent messages to people. You've established that you have knowledge of the rule, that you have intention to circumvent it. And again, this is the thing I said about BWE. There are some people where no matter what they do, it's like this. It's kind of like gangster lying, or it's like where I know that I'm lying, but I want you to know that I know that you know that I know that I'm lying. So I'm gonna say the most fucked up shit, knowing that I will never be held accountable for it. This is similar to that, where he's doing shit that is blatantly against the law, blatantly against the rules of the California and New York State Bar. He's doing it on live stream. He's saying it, and then he's laughing about it because this type of motherfucker assumes that he's never going to be held accountable. That's what we're here for. Hopefully after you get reported to the New York and California State Bar by myself and anybody else who may agree that this constitutes illegal conduct, you will be held accountable. I can't stand people like this. I almost prefer people that hide when they're doing some fucked up shit because they actually tend to be less dangerous because they don't have this machismo that I know I'm breaking the law. I know I'm breaking the rules to fuck with people, and I'm going to be public about it because I am so confident that I will never be held accountable for my behavior. Next, harassment and intimidation of opposing parties in pending litigation. New York RPC Rule 4.4a, transactions with persons other than clients in respect for rights of third persons. In representing a client, a lawyer shall not use means that have no substantial purpose other than to embarrass, delay, or burden a third person. Burden or embarrass. Keep that in mind. Over here, the commission of any act involving moral turpitude. So let's see how Newman acts. Newman created and published degrading images targeting the complainant and the complainant's wife, who are defendants in Newman's lawsuit. After the complainant mentioned in a live stream that his hair was thinning, Newman created an image depicting him as bald. See Exhibit 16. After the complainant described his wife as beautiful during a live stream, Newman created and published an image mocking her physical appearance. And you can see the comment that he left. Savage. This post, by the way, I also still see up on Denver Metro Audit's channel, because it's not just enough to make fun of the person that you're suing, you also have to degrade their wife as well. Love it. Sounds familiar? Isn't my wife beautiful? And you have this depicting her as horribly grotesque. It's just class act here, man. Class act. Encouraging people to make fun of the wife of the person that you are suing. Don't forget to donate. Denver Metro Audits, Liberty Troll, Money Please, massive lawsuit update, and you have this person that looks homeless with a beard, looking desperate, asking people for money. After the complainant launched a GoFundMe to help pay legal fees, Newman published an image depicting the complainant as a homeless beggar. You have to keep in mind that this case is being litigated on a contingency basis for the plaintiff, meaning that Denver Metro Audits is not paying anything for his lawyer right now, whereas the defendant is paying every single hour, whether it's $400, $1,200 an hour, I don't know. Every single time he calls his lawyer, that's $400 out of his pocket. Newman is making fun of the fact that somebody does not have $40,000 under the couch cushion. And that's the part that I find really disgusting here. You're not just making fun of that person, but you're the reason that they don't have that money because you are the one filing the frivolous suit. You are the one taking the money away from them. How many people here have $1,000 in case of an emergency? How about $40,000? How do you feel about being made fun of because you don't have $40,000 in the case of an emergency? Because that's what he's doing. He has the ability to cost somebody that amount of money by bringing a lawsuit against them to begin with that they are now going to have to hire a lawyer to defend themselves with. 99% of my audience, I'm guessing, cannot afford to litigate a $20,000 to $60,000 case. That is why so many of you in my inbox, when I tell you, do this, do that, here's how I think you should fight back, you go, no, I'm afraid to, I don't have the money to get sued. Point taken. I understand that I'm in a very privileged and lucky place here, that A, I have the money, and B, before I had the money, I was crazy. I just didn't care. Most people are not as crazy as I am. He's making fun of people for not having the money to defend themselves against the financial ruin that he's bringing to them. This is kind of like Mike Tyson punching a 12-year-old in the eye and then laughing that he got a black and blue. It speaks to the character of this individual. Doxing. Newman published the complainant's full residential address on his YouTube channel and personal website without redacting it. Newman then bragged about unmasking the complainant's identity and created an image depicting the complainant as a homeless man hiding in a cardboard box. Now, for all of the comments I've seen saying, look at the people deleting their videos, the person that I've honestly, tracking down any screenshots or anything from archive.org for DMCA lawyer has been a lot of work for me because every time he posts this type of stuff, he deletes it so that there's that plausible deniability of I never did it. This doesn't even show up on archive.org. If you look on archive.org, you'll see that there was an update that day, but this video did not get archived in time. So all I have for you here is the screenshot. But as you can see, he is bragging about the fact that he doxed somebody and he posted that to his channel. And Denver Metro Audits is posting, you can run, but you can't hide. See you in the chat. Lovely.
Well, you talk a lot of shit from your mommy's basement. Turns out you're like some fucking loser.
What? How does that make me a loser?
Well, you make it seem like you're some big fucking stud and you're a fucking loser. Can't even afford a new wheelchair. True? True or not?
No, that's not true.
DMCA lawyer. Paul J. Cohen, 2007, and T. Busman hanging out in the basement, eagerly awaiting Dr. Dave Frauditor Determination's live stream tonight. Roll on, boys. Two morons on wheels. Have you heard of Elf on a Shelf? How about Gimp on a Chimp? Maybe your mommy will roll you out of the basement for Christmas. Yeah, it's making fun of people who are disabled. Oh, I didn't even notice this until I went to edit the video. He's not just making fun of the guy for being disabled, he's also making fun of him for being Jewish. I forgot to read the end of it. Maybe your mommy will roll you out of the basement for Christmas. ... I mean Hanukkah with a menorah. What are you, fucking, you think you're Cartman from South Park? And again, for anybody who thinks, oh, that's funny, that's a joke, you can't take a joke, it's not about that. It's this is the hall monitor. This is the guy who is invoking a law that makes it illegal to rip a DVD, who is trying to set a precedent about making YouTube downloaders and screen recorders illegal. I'm not saying you should get in trouble because you brought a number 3 pencil to school instead of a number 2. But when the person that gets you in trouble because you spent an extra 45 seconds in the bathroom laughing at a joke gets you detention, you bet your ass we're going to be checking the number of the pencil that person uses. They still use pencils in school? They have Scantrons? I show them my age? Yeah, I'm fucking old. I'm a bus boy. I love buses, and like, it's just... Wait. You were in a wheelchair. Is that true? Oh my god, that would be epically hilarious if that's true. Please tell me it's true, my favorite Jew. Why is that funny? Why is it funny that someone did a wheelchair? The evidence shows you are paralyzed because of your own stupidity. Have fun with that, loser. You need to make sure everyone knows that you are a lame gimp, sitting in your basement, making fun of everyone else. Truly ironic. So, Paul Cohen is this loser gimp who sims for Dr. Dave and Gurkha. Turns out he's some broke loser in a wheelchair. I just found this out due to some post by the Angry Vet. Rule 8.4, misconduct. This is from New York. Maintaining the integrity of the profession. It is professional misconduct for a lawyer to engage in conduct that the lawyer knows reasonably, should know is harassment or discrimination on the basis of race, sex, religion, national origin, ethnicity, disability, age, sexual orientation. Okay. Should reasonably know is harassment based on disability.
Should reasonably know.
I think he fucking knows that what he's doing is harassment based on disability.
I think fucking
California
posting
has a similar law as well, maintaining the integrity of the profession. Engage in conduct that they reasonably know is harassment. Now, you may think that that's trivial, right? It's also my opinion that using 1 or 2 minutes extra of somebody's video and claiming fair use is totally okay. But we're not talking about opinion here. We're talking about the letter of the law. This
Judge.
man is a hall monitor.
He's
He is a
judge.
professional hall monitor. He
You
makes his
judge
money
that.
and promotes his business by utilizing laws that allow him to act as a hall monitor. And I've always thought this consistently. If there's anybody in this world that should be held to the standard of every single fucking letter of the law, it is the hall monitor. Especially when that hall monitor laughs and makes a mockery and a fuckery out of everybody, from the people that he is harassing and suing over nonsensical bullshit to people who are genuinely disabled and may not have as much money as he does. In my opinion, this man is a disgrace. I reported him to the New York State and the California Bar. And I'm going to include a link down below to a GitHub repository that has my complaint, as well as all the information that you will need if you want to make it better and file your own complaint. Maybe there's information that you have that I don't have. Maybe I got something wrong on my citation. You're welcome to take a look at that, and I hope that you improve it. If you believe that this is improper behavior for a lawyer to take part in, if you believe that this is inappropriate, here's the thing. I am not a tattletale in my normal life. But if you are the hall monitor and you've gotten me in trouble because I spent an extra 8 seconds in the bathroom, and because I brought a number 3 pencil to school instead of a number 2, and now I gotta stay extra and get detention because of it, you bet your ass that I'm looking for every single fucking thing that you did that's wrong. If you want to use the law as a hammer to bully people and beat them around as much as you want, then that hammer is also going to be used on you. I want you to think in the audience of every single time the DMCA or Section 1201 has screwed you over. Every single time you went to Spotify Revanced page and you saw a takedown notice or the software not available. YouTube Vance becoming Revanced. Company that makes ink cartridges getting sued because they got around the printer's DRM. Every single time you have heard the DMCA come up in a manner that has made your life shitty, you've probably had a caricature in your head about what the people sound like and what they look like and what they act like that come up with these fucked up laws to take advantage of people. And now you don't have to think about it as a caricature anymore because you heard it, you saw it. This is how they talk. This is how they act. This is how they treat people, and they think they can get away with it, but they don't have to get away with it. You can fight back. You can do the exact same thing that he's doing, except when you do it, it's not going to be malicious. When you do it, it's going to be just. What you can do is you can take all of these laws that he has broken and point it out to the New York State and California bar. If one person submits a complaint, I don't know if it's going to get someplace. But if you believe that this is conduct that is worthy of disciplinary action, and in my opinion, it sure as fuck is, you can do something about it. This is not a random person that just made a joke. This is a person that actively wants to fuck with the underpinnings of the internet for fun and for money. And he's going to continue to do it unless somebody gets in his way. I'm here to get in your way. I'm going to continue to get in your way. And Denver Metro Audits, I want you to seriously think about this. As I said in the beginning of the video, First Amendment auditing has a serious place in our society. We need to live in a place where I can show up to a legislative hearing. I met you, I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure, I have to go back to the stream and see if it was you, but I think I met you at that town hall where we were talking about Flock and everybody was showing up because the mayor of Denver fucked everybody over and decided to renew the contract by making it $1,000 or $1,000 less than the limit for city council to approve it. I was able to record that because of people like you that are First Amendment auditors. I've traveled to places in this country before where I was not allowed to record, where they said I had to have a fucking press pass to be able to record the bullshit that Apple and Samsung lobbyists were lying to politicians, or I wasn't allowed to do it. And the press was never there. CBS was never there. Fox was never there. NBC was never there. People like you and I showed up to record that type of stuff. Citizen journalists. And that's how you create real change. You have the power to be a part of that, or you have the power to associate with this bullshit. Because when you associate with this bullshit, when you associate with people like this and bring that energy into everything you're doing in your life, it discredits the entire concept of First Amendment auditing. Let's be real here. This is fucking Keemstar with a law degree and a pension for traveling to Southeast Asia. Never go full Keemstar. People are going to look at this at you making fun of what somebody's wife looks like in Southeast Asia. Never go full Keemstar. People are going to look at this at you making fun of what somebody's wife looks like and laughing at people that are in a wheelchair and bringing these bullshit lawsuits using laws that are the exact opposite of the spirit of what you're doing. And they're going to say, fuck these people. This is just a bunch of TikTok rage bait content. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't even care about it. And the worst part about that is that you're going to foster a generation of people that laugh at the idea of caring about the rights that there's a good reason to care about. Is this what you want your movement to be associated with? Is this what you want your channel and your personality to be associated with? I've made a lot of mistakes over the course of my life, and I'm going to make many mistakes into the future. In my opinion, one of the mistakes that you made was ever associating with this man. You have the ability to turn that around, and I want to present you with the opportunity to turn that around. Drop this frivolous lawsuit against this man. Accept the fact that somebody who didn't like you uploaded a video that probably made him fucking 50 cents or $20 in advertising revenue that's a fraction of what you've ever made in your life, and then he has the right to criticize you. Don't try to utilize a law that fucks with the fundamental underpinnings of technology and the internet that should have never existed in the first place just because you weren't able to push through a fair use strike on YouTube. Do you want to be on the right side of history, or do you want to be associated with this bullshit? That's your choice. I'm 100% certain that every single person who's criticizing you right now, if you change track on something like this and you decided to stop associating with these fucking losers, that they'll support you and be with you. And I would too. I'll see you in the next video. And Mr. Newman, I'm watching you. You better not come sue me. In fact, maybe you should. Your last lawsuit you ever make. That's it for today. And as always, hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.
Overdosing. Big tech breaks.
All right, guys, you know we have been tracking closely here some of the local pushback against data centers being located in communities across the country, and we are very fortunate to be joined this morning by a grassroots activist who has had great success fighting and stopping a data center in New Jersey. So Charlie Cradaville is a Central Jersey organizer with Food and Water Watch. He's the founder and editor of New Brunswick Today, a community news outlet that covers the city of New Brunswick, New Jersey, and he just led the successful and viral, I might add, campaign to kill AMZAC Capital Management's plan to build a new 27,000 square foot data center near homes and businesses last week. Charlie, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you.
See you, Charlie.
My pleasure. Big fan of you guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of this video, and we can take a look at this. Is some of the celebration after your successful campaign to fight against this data center. So celebrations in the street, screaming we won, they canceled the data center, and then you also had quite a viral post as well that we can put up here. I mean, just amazingly viral. I'm sure you had no idea the way this would take off when you posted it. And you can see, your picture here. You say we won, no data center, and they have to build a park. So take us behind the scenes here. What did this organizing effort look like, and what was the type of coalition that you all were able to build on the ground?
Yeah, there's something really special and unique about this campaign. Being a local journalist, I attend all the meetings, and so I just happened to be at the New Brunswick Planning Board meeting the night that they revealed that this redevelopment plan included a data center that would be right near homes and businesses. We didn't think of New Brunswick as a place where we might be having these types of proposals, but sure enough, this is the first time it's happened. And we really only had 9 days before the city council was supposed to approve it and finalize the redevelopment plan. And once it's in there, I know from experience how hard it can be to fight the site plans, because they'll just say it's a permitted use in the redevelopment plan. It was a really sloppy redevelopment plan with no limits or controls on how big it is or how many there could be. So yeah, they said a single 27,000 square foot data center verbally at this one meeting, but there would be nothing stopping that private equity firm from coming back with a much larger or a more devastating proposal. And so yeah, I work at Food and Water Watch, where we have called for a nationwide moratorium on large-scale AI data centers, along with 250 other groups. And so I knew the right people to contact, and I knew the right information to share. And in those 9 days, we were able to build a coalition with students at Rutgers University, environmental groups around the state, and the local people who were going to be most affected. So, one of those pictures, I'm there knocking on doors in the Lincoln Gardens neighborhood to warn people that this proposal's coming up and you need to call your council president, show up at this meeting. And, I was expecting a big response, but certainly it exceeded my wildest expectations.
Yeah, Charlie, you are enemy number one to a lot of people in the tech industry. Many of them, I know some of these people, they view you and your ilk, as they would call it, as the vanguard of the degrowth movement, as people who refuse to accept this forward progress and productivity in their lives. Why were you even interested in blocking this data center in the first place?
God,
well, I know how devastating they can be from some of my colleagues around the nation that have helped fight, and in some cases have not been able to stop them. So they can be devastating to ecosystems. The noise and pollution can be harmful to humans, and it's the type of development that it's the opposite of job creation, right? Normally we are in this sort of like environmentalist versus jobs dynamic, but these facilities have very few permanent jobs, and in fact the artificial intelligence industry is famous for replacing human workers with computer technology and putting people out of work. So those arguments don't carry water. I have gotten a little taste of how strong the opposition is, and I knew that it was something that we needed to tap into here in New Brunswick, because at the end of the day, I wanted our city council to remember this moment next time a data center is proposed, and they'll just say no because they understand that the people don't want it, at least not here in our city. And I think, Food and Water Watch is right to support a moratorium on this stuff, because otherwise we're going to be making decisions that we're going to be locked into, and we're going to come to regret.
Let's put E4 up on the screen here, because your movement is part of a rising local grassroots push against these data centers. This was a heat map report from last month, which said amid rising local pushback, U.S. data center cancellation surged in 2025. A heat map pro review of public record shows 25 data centers scrubbed last year after local pushback. That was 4 times as many as 2024. I live in a rural community in Virginia. Virginia's really been the the epicenter of these data center locations, and I've seen the way that the awareness and the activism around these data centers has shifted just in the past couple of years here as well. Why do you think that your success really sort of tapped into a zeitgeist, why it was so why people found it so important. What do you think the issues are that you're touching on that are resonating really in a cross-partisan and cross-ideological way as well?
Yeah, I mean, in New Brunswick, we have a lot of development and redevelopment going on, so I know there's a lot of frustration over it, but it's often, some people love it and some people don't love it. In this case, this is a piece of land that had been completely vacant for years. The developer kicked out small businesses to, supposedly had big plans and never delivered on them. So I knew the local people were not going to support a plan that was going to, basically change what was supposed to be a park to a big data center. I also knew that more broadly, people are very frustrated with artificial intelligence and the impact it's having, how we're seeing so much misinformation and slop in our feeds that we didn't see just a few years ago, and how it's ultimately a big moneymaker for the extremely wealthy, and virtually nothing is trickling down to regular folks. So different people have different reasons for opposing it, but it is definitely something that is widely felt, and we're all sort of on the same side, whether we don't like it because of the impact it's having on our social media feeds, or the impact it's having on our economy, or the impact it's having on our environment, or just the fact that we don't want developers to be able to make the maximum profit without giving anything back to the community, and that's what we were seeing here with this redevelopment.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. So the response I've seen to you, Charlie, I'll read one from a VC who I know, Gary Tan. He says, a fully built data center complex generates $31 million a year in state taxes, $61 million in local. It creates 430 direct jobs at this facility, plus many more indirect construction phase jobs. So clearly, you and your community, you're not buying it. Parse that argument. You could have built a bigger park, Charlie, if you would let it be there, and then the new park would eventually materialize. So you're not buying it. Tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, those numbers are kind of made up, right? The specifics on this project were few and far between. The developer never showed up in New Brunswick to explain what they wanted to do or why. This was all just in the early phase of a redevelopment plan, secondhand, and frankly, there were lies involved, right? We were misled at the initial city council meeting where they voted on this, and they were told this is just minor tweaks that they're making to the commercial component of the project, which was supposed to be offices and retail originally. So, yeah, I have no faith or trust in developers and officials who are going to mislead us. And at the end of the day, they're not making the case. They're not making a good case for it. This company basically came in and said, oh yeah, that developer messed up, but we're going to take over their project. We're the financial backers, and don't worry, he's not involved anymore, so you could trust us. But they're in Palm Beach. They never came to New Brunswick and explained what they wanted to do or why. And ultimately, this seemed like a half-baked plan all along, but it was so important that we stopped the redevelopment plan, because if it got through, it would have allowed them to have as many data centers as they wanted.
Yeah, and to your point, I was watching some of the town hall footage from a Missouri community where they were pushing back on, efforts to put a data center in their town. And the concerns really were everything from the I don't know that I want to call it mundane, but, concerns about noise pollution, what's the traffic going to mean, what's it going to mean for the character of our town, to the more existential. And to that point, I wanted to get your reaction to some recent comments from Sam Altman, because I think there's a deeply anti-human ideology that is at the heart of this. So let's go ahead and take a listen to Sam Altman comparing the energy needs of AI to the energy needs of human beings.
One of the things that is always unfair in this comparison
is comparing how much food you gotta feed a baby.
But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during
Dude,
that
this
time
guy needs to be
before you get
thrown
smart.
involved.
And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to like figure out science and whatever to produce you, and then you took whatever you took. So the fair comparison is if you ask ChatGPT a question, how much energy does it take once its model is trained to answer that question versus a human? And probably AI has already
But the model's trained. Once the model's trained to answer how to write something, it's probably way better than just having people.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting. I think that folks who think of it in those terms are demonstrating the coldness
They're
that they have.
fucking nuts.
Society as we know it, and innovation can and is a great thing. But we have to stay true to what we are. As human beings, as a society that loves and cares for one another. We can't just throw it all away and change our physical environment to facilitate technology growth over our own sustainability as a species. And of course, at the end of the day, it's about money, right?
All the tech bros are literally just like,
they don't want to share the wealth. They want to control everything.
Fucking shitheads who watch
money,
like Star
including water,
Wars,
including our
and the Terminator.
And we can't stand for that. It's a power grab.
Yeah, all while promising.
And they're just like, yeah, actually, I think the Empire is the good guys because their uniforms are cleaner looking. Go-Goat. Go-Goat's pretty sick. The fucking light, man. I think it's the fan spinning. Fucks with the... It fucks with the hollow shit. The foil. Outside. Oh no, Taco. Oh no, Taki.
What if the most efficient way to heat and cool your home might not actually be the best choice for you? Geothermal heat pumps are the gold standard for efficiency. They're also the most expensive upfront investment that you can make in your home's HVAC system. So are they really worth it? Or should you just use an air source heat pump instead? I've been living with my geothermal system for 2 years now, and I've covered it extensively on this channel. But I wanted to dig deeper. So I reached out to my friend Paul Brering, who installed an air source heat pump system in his Connecticut home around the same time I was building mine. We're both in New England, we both have detailed energy monitoring, and we both ditched fossil fuels completely. It's a perfect setup for a real-world comparison. Here's the thing though, after crunching the numbers, this isn't going to be a straightforward geothermal wins or air source is better story that you would expect. The actual data surprised both of us. I'm Matt Farrell. Welcome to Undecided. But before we get into pitting one system against the other, let's cover a few of the basics. Heat pumps move heat instead of generating it through combustion or resistance heating. In summer, they move heat from the inside of your home to the outside. In winter, they pull heat from outside, amplify it, and pump it into the home. That's why you can get 3 to 5 units of heating or cooling for every unit of electricity that you use. It's a very efficient system. But the difference between geothermal and air source is simple. Geothermal exchanges heat with the ground through underground pipes and a circulating fluid. Air source systems exchange heat with outside air using an outdoor condensing unit. Both beat burning fossil fuels by a long shot. I live in Massachusetts, Paul lives in Connecticut, and New England winters are cold, electricity is expensive, and we both work from home. That means our systems run constantly. However, we make very different choices with what systems we install. I went geothermal when I built my net zero home. Paul went air source when he gutted and renovated his 1990s house. So let me walk you through what that meant for each of us. My geothermal installation was part of a new build, which gave me some advantages. I drilled a single vertical well 400 feet deep in my backyard. A closed loop tube runs down into the well and back up into the house, circulating fluid that exchanges heat with the earth. Once you get down to about 6 to 10 feet below the surface of my area, the earth becomes a consistent of 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius. If you have room, you can go with a horizontal loop when they dig across a large area of your property about 6 to 10 feet down. It's cheaper than drilling vertical, but the process does require more space. The system itself is a water furnace Series 7, which has variable speed control. That means it can ramp up or down to maintain precise temperature without constantly cycling on or off. One of my favorite features is the desuperheater. It captures waste heat from the compressor and uses it to preheat water in a holding tank. That preheated water feeds into my heat pump water heater, and as a result, I get hot water from the heat that would otherwise be wasted. And overall, I installed the water furnace system, a 400-foot well, an ERV, and a whole house dehumidifier. Paul's situation was completely different. He bought an existing house built in the 1990s that was, in essence, designed to be leaky. Back then, homes were built that way to provide return air from gas-burning equipment. His house was doing 8 air exchanges per hour. He may as well have been leaving the windows cracked open all the time. So Paul didn't just install a heat pump, he completely transformed his house. After enough air sealing, the house went from 8 air exchanges per hour to 0.8. This also meant removing the natural gas line, meter, furnace, and all the other such hardware that was longer. Paul also removed all the baseboard heating, water loops, and attic ductwork. He designed a completely new system from scratch. The old system had single registers at each door with short duct runs. If you closed the door, it relied on return air going under the door. In his previous home, which was nearby and built by the same builder, Paul's office used to climb to 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 29 degrees Celsius when he was working with door closed. For this home to combat this, he designed proper ductwork for each room with dedicated air returns. He installed 2 Bosch air source heat pump systems, 2 outdoor condensers, 2 air handlers, an ERV, and a whole house dehumidifier. But before we get to the performance data and costs, I need to talk about something else that both Paul and I experienced. Finding qualified contractors who understand modern heat pump systems and efficient homes is not easy. One of the first contractors I contacted created a wildly complicated and over-engineered design that would have been very costly. Paul had one contractor literally walk out of his house partway through the consultation. The guy looked at Paul's requirements for efficient sizing and properly designed ductwork for each room and said he couldn't handle it. He literally didn't just walked away. The installer he did go with oversized the system, even after Paul had explained that he was air sealing the house with aero barrier, improving insulation and replacing all 32-year-old windows with new triple pane windows. Paul's saving grace was that both Bosch units had a dip switch that let them operate as 2-ton units instead of 3-ton units. That dip switch probably saved thousands in operating costs by preventing the systems from short cycling. The point is, this stuff matters. Bad installation can ruin even the best equipment, and there aren't enough contractors who really understand these newer high-efficiency systems anymore. After 2 years living with my geothermal system, there were 2 things that caught me by surprise. The biggest one, I never touched the thermostats, like ever. In every house I've ever lived in before, I had thermostats on timers or smart thermostats that adjust things on the fly. Drop the temperature when you're at work, raise it before you go home. But geothermal systems, they actually don't want that. The ground loop provides a powerful buffer with high thermal inertia. It absorbs and releases heat gradually thanks to the Earth's stable underground temperatures. This makes the system slower to ramp up or down in response to big temperature changes. And that sounds like a downside, but it's actually a benefit. The result is highly efficient, constant temperature that also reduces wear and tear on the equipment. The system isn't cycling on and off or trying to play catch-up. Paul's experience is different. His air source system operates more like a traditional HVAC setup, but with 2 air handler speeds and a variable speed heat pump that likes to run most of the time. It's generally blowing air that isn't super hot or cold. Mine does the same thing. While it can respond somewhat faster to demand changes, that has pros and cons. But that leads to something Paul found surprising.
The similarity in the experience was actually surprising to me. You talked about not sitting back or changing your thermometers much. That's true here too. Now I do have zoning, so one room might be 3 degrees warmer on purpose than an adjoining room. I leave it. If I set it back, if it's too fancy and it's got to catch up in the morning, and whether it's geothermal, ground source, or air source heat pump, we don't really want to mess with your temperature much. We're only leaving the house for 4 hours. Nothing like a regular house.
Here's something that both Paul and I deal with that most people don't. Humidity control in spring and fall is tricky. Your air conditioner dehumidifies the air as a side effect of cooling.
cold coils make moisture condense out of the air. In May or October, though, when it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius outside and it's comfortable inside, the AC isn't running, but it can still be humid and uncomfortable. That's why we both have whole house dehumidifiers. Mine runs mainly in May, June, September, and October. I have it plugged into a smart outlet so I can turn it off completely in winter and summer when it's not needed. Paul has an April air unit with similar setup, and his runs during those same shoulder months of the fall and spring. It's one of those things that adds to the total system cost, but makes the whole house much more comfortable year round. Both Paul and I have energy recovery ventilators, or ERVs, because our houses are so airtight. And both of us regret how they're integrated with our HVAC system. An ERV brings fresh air into your house while recovering heat or cooling from the exhaust air. It passes stale inside air through tiny vents on the way out. Parallel to those vents, fresh outside air passes through as it comes in. Heat moves from the hotter vents to the cooler vents. In summer, you're pre-cooling hot outside air, and in winter, you're preheating cold outside air. In both of our cases, the ERV is tied to the air handler. It only runs when the HVAC system is already running for heating or cooling. The problem is, in spring and fall, the HVAC might not run for hours. Nothing's needed for heating or cooling, but people are still breathing, cooking, and living inside the house. Paul's situation is even more complicated. His Bosch system is a high-efficiency unit that gets its SEER 20 rating, partly because it's great at removing heat, but it sometimes leaves the coils a bit wet. If he runs the air handler after a cooling cycle ends, he may be blowing humid air into the house. Because his ERV is tied to the air handler, he's left without a choice. If we were doing it all over again, we'd both install independent ERVs with their own ductwork and controls. They'd run based on CO2 levels, bathroom humidity, or a timer, completely separate from the HVAC system. Alright, let's talk numbers, because this is what I'm sure many of you are actually here for. Both Paul and I have detailed energy monitoring systems because we both use stand panels, which are smart electric panels. We can both see exactly how much electricity our HVAC systems use broken down by individual circuits, so there's no guessing, no estimates, real data. For a fair comparison, we're looking at just the core HVAC components. That's the air handlers and the outdoor units. For Paul, that means his 2 air handlers and 2 outdoor condensers. For me, it's my geothermal unit. We're leaving out the ERVs, dehumidifiers, other accessories. Here we're just measuring just the stuff that actually heats and cools the house. The grand total for just heating and cooling. Paul's home for 1 year is 12,571 kilowatt hours of energy. Mine for the same time frame is 2,393 kilowatt hours. If we normalize the cost per kilowatt hour to something like 30 cents per kilowatt hour, which is roughly where it sits for me, then we're looking at something kind of shocking. That would cost roughly $3,771.30 a year for Paul versus $717.90 for me. My running cost is 19% of Paul's yearly total. Remember, that's per year. However, a huge caveat is that we both have solar with battery storage, so much of our actual cost is free sunshine. We also both participate in virtual power plants, or VPPs, with our home batteries, so we get paid several $1,000s a year by the utility. I've got videos on all of that if you're interested. Also, my house is a little more airtight and insulated than his house, so I retain my heated and cooled air better, but more on that in a minute. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Paul made significant improvements to his system during his first year. He shortened the ductwork runs in the attic, reducing the distance that heated and cooled air has to travel. That single change improved his system efficiency by about 15%. Think about that for a second. Optimizing the ductwork design made a double-digit difference in energy use, simply by moving air more efficiently over shorter distances and reducing energy losses. And Paul's not done. He's still upgrading. His basement still needs insulation, the attic hasn't been properly insulated yet after the ductwork changes, and there are more efficiency gains coming. Meanwhile, my system performance has been pretty stable since installation because everything was optimized from the start. Efficiency-wise, heat pumps are at their best in mild weather. They lose more and more of that efficiency the colder the weather gets. In the summer, both systems perform well. Air conditioning is basically the same operation for both geothermal and air source. My geothermal system has an advantage because the ground is cooler than the outside air, even on a 95-degree day or 35 degrees Celsius, but the difference is not dramatic. Winter is where things get interesting. When it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit or -7 degrees Celsius outside, my geothermal system is exchanging heat with 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius ground. That's a much easier lift than Paul's air source system trying to extract heat from that cold outside air. His system has to work harder and occasionally needs to run defrost cycles. And defrost cycles are when the outdoor unit temporarily reverses to melt ice buildup on the coils. During defrost, the system isn't heating your house. Most modern systems use backup resistance heating during defrost to keep things comfortable. The problem is, it's effectively running an electric space heater, which isn't super efficient. Paul noticed this in his first winter, especially on those humid but cold days when ice would form up on the outdoor units. He connected the defrost signal wires that the HVAC contractor failed to bother with. Now the heat pump can tell the air handler to turn on the heat strips during this defrosting. Paul's wife no longer needs to wonder why the AC is on.
How the hell can it scan the reverse?
During single-digit cold snaps. I don't have to deal with those defrost cycles at all. The ground temperature is stable, so there's no ice buildup, reversing cycles, or backup heat needed. So let's talk about what you really want to know: is geothermal worth the extra money? Now, my total system cost before incentives was around $99,000. After incentives, it came down to about $75,000. Paul's total system cost was about $69,000. Yes, I spent almost $100,000 before incentives, but after that 30% federal tax rebate on the core parts of the system, it came in at $75,000. That includes all the ductwork and labor for a new house, so keep that in mind. As for Paul, his number of $69,000 includes completely removing and redoing all the ductwork, as well as the ERV, and my system includes the ERV as well. If you were to focus in on just the cost of the main system without all the new ductwork, like you're doing more of a system swap, you'd subtract about $21,000 for mine and probably about $21,000 or so for Paul's. However, that's a very rough guess because of the labor costs. That would mean the systems would be around $48,000 for Paul's and $54,000 for mine. My system was projected to cost about half as much to operate each year compared to an equivalent air source system that I looked at for my specific house. Now, these operational savings would have been roughly $1,000 in annual savings. At that rate, the payback period for my specific setup would be about 14 to 15 years. Here's where things get complicated. If I compared my operational costs to Paul's, which was around the equivalent of $3,000 a year, my system would pay off its premium compared to his system in about 2 years. So why Why the huge difference between the comparable air source quote that I got for my house versus Paul's air source system? Why is one $1,000 a year savings versus $3,000 compared to Paul's? A lot of that I think can be chalked up to the differences between the high R value of my home's insulation. We're talking about much thicker walls with minimal thermal bridging and air tightness compared to Paul's house. The bottom line, I think my house's construction and design is doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. However, Paul's system is still improving. That 15% efficiency gain from better ductwork already happened. More improvements are coming when he finishes insulating. His operating costs could drop further, which could reduce more of that gap. There's also longevity to consider. Geothermal ground loops can last 50 years or more. The indoor equipment might need replacing after 20 to 25 years, where air source outdoor units typically last 15 to 20 years before replacement. Paul and I both face something called the spark gap problem. That's the difference between the cost of electricity and the cost of natural gas in your area. New England has some of the most expensive electricity in the continental United States. That makes heat pumps less economically attractive here than in cheaper electricity markets. If you live somewhere with cheap electricity, heat pumps are no-brainer. But Massachusetts and Connecticut, you need to be smart about it. Proper insulation, good ductwork design, and efficient equipment all matter more here. This is also why Paul's 50% efficiency improvement from his ductwork is such a big deal. That directly translates to lower electricity bills in a high-cost market. In our area, there's also heat pump electricity rate incentives that are run by the utilities that you can sign up for to get cheaper rates. So which should you choose? Well, it kind of depends on your situation, your timeline, and your priorities. Geothermal makes sense if you're building new or doing a major renovation. When you're already tearing everything up, the incremental cost is manageable. For instance, it could be rolled up into the mortgage, like I did. US data shows payback periods ranging from 3 years to a decade. You also need space for a vertical well or horizontal ground loop. Companies like Dandelion Energy have compact drilling rigs that fit tighter lots. If you have room for a horizontal loop, you'll save significantly compared to the $18,000 that I paid for drilling. For me, geothermal was the right choice. I was building new with a long-term mindset. My system is performing better than projected, and I'm on track to easily recoup the costs over the decades that I plan to live here. Air source makes sense for almost everybody else. Modern cold climate units work down to negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. If you already have decent ductwork, installation costs drop dramatically. Air source also offers flexibility. Paul has 2 systems.
Damn, look at that.
If one fails during winter vacation, the house won't freeze.
Look at that fucking scanning.
For Paul, retrofitting with good air source equipment was the right call. The upfront cost was comparable once you factor in all the renovation ductwork. And he's getting excellent comfort with efficiency that's way better than any fossil fuel burning furnace. On top of that, we're both mostly powering our systems with free sunshine. And over time, the grid power that our homes are using in winter is becoming more and more renewable. One of the key takeaways was that there's a lot you can do to make your home more energy efficient with proper insulation, windows, and so on, just as Paul found out.
But now that I have it all figured out and working, oh man, it's good. I understand it all. I totally get it. Everything's tuned right. It just